Hello, very good morning to all, and a very warm welcome to Prof. Zaidatun from the UTHM, the Dean of Graduate School. And to begin our talk today, I'll invite our FKMP student, Muhammad Nakib Sahimi, to recite the Dua. Thank you.
الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك لسانا رطيبا بذكرك وقلبا مفعوما بشكرك وبدنا حينا لينا بطاعتك. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ونسألك قلبا خاشعا ونسألك علما نافعا ونسألك يقينا صادقا ونسألك دينا قيما ونسألك العافية من كل بلية ونسألك تمام الغنى عن الناس وهب لنا حقيقة الإيمان بك حتى لا نخاف ولا نرجو غيرك ولا نعبد شيئا سواك واجعل يدك مبسوطة علينا وعلى أهلنا وأولادنا ومن معنا برحمتك ولا تكلنا إلا أنفسنا طرفة عين ولا أقل من ذلك يا نعم المجيب. اللهم إنك تعلم أن هذه القلوب قد اجتمعت على محبتك والتقت على طاعتك وتوحدت على دعوتك وتعهدت على نصرة شريعتك فوثق اللهم رابطتها وأدم الدها واهدها سبلها واملأها بنورك الذي لا يخبو واشرح صدورها بفيض الإيمان بك وجمل التوكل عليك وأحيها بمعرفتك وأمتها على الشهادة في سبيلك إنك نعم المولى ونعم النصير. Ya Allah, Engkau mengetahui bahawa hati-hati ini orang yang telah dibayangkan tadi telah berkumpul kerana mengasihimu, bertemu untuk mematuhi perintahmu, bersatu memikul beban dakwahmu. Hati-hati ini telah mengikat janji setia untuk mendaulat dan menyokong syariatmu. Maka eratkanlah ya Allah akan ikatannya. Kekalkan kemesraan antara hati-hati ini akan jalannya yang sebenar. Penuhkan piala hati ini dengan cahaya Rabbanimu yang tidak kunjung malap. Lapangkanlah hati-hati ini dengan limpahan iman dan keindahan tawakal kepadamu. Hidup suburkan hati-hati ini dengan makrifat pengetahuan sebenar tentangmu. Jika engkau mentakdirkan mati, maka keluarga dan para sahabat baginda semuanya. Ya Allah, perkenankanlah doa ini dan segala puji bagi Allah Tuhan sekalian alam. Matikanlah pemilih hati-hati ini sebagai para syuhada dalam perjuangan agamamu. Engkaulah sebaik-baik sandaran dan sebaik-baik penolong. Ya Allah, restuilah dan sejahterakanlah junjungan kami Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wasallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Saudara Nakib. So without further ado, I would like to invite the Dean of Center for Graduate Studies, UTHM, Prof. Tamizi, to deliver his opening speech.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. Terlebih dahulu, saya ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi terima kasih dan amat terhutang budi lah dengan Prof. Dr. Zaidatun kerana sudilah hadir ke UTHM untuk berkongsi maklumat dan pengetahuan lah mengenai graduate on time, GOT. Jadi untuk makluman, sekarang ini GOT merupakan KPI. KPI kepada supervisor, kepada dekan-dekan fakulti, selain dekan siswazah. Kerana ia juga merupakan KPI ANC. Jadi kita tak maulah berlaku seperti zaman-zaman dahulu yang mana pelajar kadang-kadang mengambil masa 10 tahun untuk menyiapkan PhD. Sekarang ini fokusnya adalah pelajar hendaklah graduate paling lewat 4 tahun. Paling lewat. Okey. Prof. Zaidatun sedikitlah latar belakang beliau. Asal Perak kan Prof? Asal Perak Beliau dalam bidang pendidikan, background pendidikan, multimedia, kreatif multimedia lah, di sekarang ni di Jabatan Educational Science, Mathematics and Creative Multimedia. Baru berbual tadi, UTM akan restructure. So probably dalam fakulti yang berbeza lah, tak lama lagi. Mereka akan transform ke arah yang lebih baik. Kita doakan UTM akan lebih maju, lebih baik, dan kita ni memati. Mungkin kalau sesuai kita pun perlu transform, ya. Okay. Jadi pendidikan sarjana muda di UTM, masters di Arizona State University, Arizona State University, dan PhD juga di UTM. Beliau telah menjadi dekan sekolah pengajian siswaza hampir 5 tahun, ya Prof. 5 tahun dah. Jadi 5 tahun jugalah Prof menjadi chairperson majlis dekan pengajian siswaza. Seorang yang sangat berpengalaman dan berpengetahuan lah dalam aspek-aspek pendidikan siswaza. Jadi saya tak perlulah saya elaborate lebih panjang lagi. Beliau sangat berpengalaman dan kita ingin beliau share everything mengenai pengajian siswaza. Dan saya harap yang di paguh tu boleh dengar dengan jelas lah. Okey. Alright. Mereka dah melambai tu maknanya dah clear lah transmission dengan paguh. Dan insyaAllah kita akan juga upload dalam sistem supaya staff yang tak dapat hadir ni dia boleh tengok dalam ni kan, dalam kita normally upload lah, kita rakam ni dan kita akan upload dalam UTHM website. Jadi staff-staff, rakan-rakan SV yang tak dapat hadir boleh lihat. Kita juga ucapkan terima kasih kepada GSA, Graduate Student Association. Mereka adalah stakeholder. Mereka juga perlu tahu mengenai graduate on time lah, graduate on time sebagai stakeholders. Dengan saya rasa itu sajalah mukadimah saya, dan saya serahkan kembali pada Dr. Chan lah.
Terima kasih kepada Prof Dekan. Jadi seperti yang Prof Dekan sebut tadi, segi sebenarnya biodata Prof Zaidah telah dimaklumkan. Saya just simpulkan je lah secara ringkasnya kenapa kita berbangga, rasa berbesar hati dan bangga lah dapat kehadiran Prof Zaidah di sini untuk memberikan pencerahan kepada kita semua tentang IGOT ni. Prof Zaidah sebenarnya telah berada di Pusat Pengajian Siswaza sekolah, Prof. Sekolah Pengajian Siswaza di UTM sejak 2007. Am I right? Yeah, 2007. She was the deputy, the head of department from 2007 to 2008. She was a deputy dean from 2008 right up to 2010. And then she was appointed the dean from 2013 until now. And as Prof Tasir mentioned, she has been re-elected as the chair for Majlis Dekan Siswaza Malaysia 2 kali dah. Ini term kedua. And under the leadership of Prof Zaidah, memang banyak benda lah telah diusahakan oleh Majlis Dekan bagi pelajar. Contohnya, sesi interview MyBrain yang tengah berjalan dengan hangatnya sekarang di seluruh Malaysia. Sebenarnya adalah banyak kita perlu ucapkan terima kasih lah kepada Prof Zaidah dan timnya yang berunding dengan pihak kementerian untuk in a way hidupkan semula tawaran MyBrain ni. Seperti tuan-tuan dan puan tahu, last year memang MyBrain dibekukan lah sebab ada simakan semula dan sebagainya. Jadi without further ado, we shall invite Prof Zaidah to enlighten us on this IGOT thingy, and hopefully after this we could be steering ourselves towards more graduates, better quality graduates, and more in time. At the same time, I would like to remind us all that we have our friends in Pago. Hello Pago. So sebab ada kampus Pago kat situ kan, Prof, untuk makluman Prof, kita ada 2 fakulti dan 1 pusat di situ, pusat diploma di situ dengan fakulti sains dan fakulti engineering teknologi di situ. Jadi kawan-kawan di situ tengah berkumpul kot rasanya. Right, so the floor is yours, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you, Prof. Tamizi, as a Dean of Pusat. You call it Pusat Pengajian Siswaza, because in Malaysia we have 3 different names for graduate schools. We have 2 in Malaysia who's using School of Graduate Study, which are UTM and UPM. And then we have one in UKM, it's just Pusat Siswaza, okay, no longer looking into the matters of academics or postgrad. UKM is quite extreme. They are looking at the support program only for students and training for supervisor. That's UKM. That's why it's quite difficult sometimes to deal with UKM in terms of how do you manage a graduate school, okay? Because UKM is one of the models where they decentralize everything to the faculty, okay? And we have Pusat Siswaza, and we also have Institute Pengajian Siswaza in Malaysia. So that is the 5 types of name of graduate school or graduate center in Malaysia. Okay. So thank you to UTHM for inviting me for this session. Usually as a chairperson of graduate councils, graduate school council, when I receive a call or invitations sharing about GOT, I'm actually will put it in my schedule because I believe GOT is very, very important, not only to UTM, but to all university in Malaysia. So I did remember Dr. Chan asked me if I can come, might be ask my deputy to come, but I did mention to Dr. Chan, no, I will come. This is the third session where I went to the university. The first one is actually in attended by the Vice Chancellor himself, the new Vice Chancellor, about GOT and students and also supervisors. So I believe today we have students also. Graduate, you call it as Graduate Student Association. Okay, that's good. And of course, supervisor. And we hope that more is actually will come. The supervisor might be on their way to come, because in my presentation, and also I can see that from Pago, in my presentation I will share the real data that we have in Malaysia. What is the situation that we have in Malaysia, and why GOT is very, very important. Not looking at the angles from the supervisor perspective. You are looking at the supervisor perspective, might be you might be thinking that GOT is not important, but my presentation will look into many angles, including as a Ministry of Higher Education, the importance of GOT. Okay, it's very important. Okay, and I would like the session to be two-way session. If you have a question, you can ask. I already emailed my slide to your center. There are few of my slide is kind of confidential, okay, because it relates to my brain data. But if you have question, you can stop me, ask any question that you want. Okay. Okay, when we talk from the perspective of students, this is why GOT is very important, okay? Because you know that as a student, and you have to tell your students about this matter, okay? The first question that you might going to ask your students if they want to stay longer into the system, because in UTM also we have students who want to stay longer in the system. They say that, Prof, I love to stay in Malaysia. I don't want GOT. I would like to stay here. Okay, so we have to accept it. Okay, so if you have a students who might be sponsored by the government or might be by certain sponsorship and so on, you have to ask the student one thing is that how many years of fellowship support do they have left, especially the local student, which is actually my brain. Okay. There's a long story about my brain that we offer again this year with the 90 millions. My first question to the Ministry of Higher Education is the money there, 90 millions. You don't ask me something that you don't have the money yet. because you know that we are actually pushing the election process, and we are quite afraid that maybe the money, 90 million, is not there. It's been announced by our Prime Minister, 90 million for my brain, but might be the money is not already account into Ministry of Higher Education, not banked into Ministry of Higher Education. But they say that, yeah, Prof, the money is here. So that's why we are quite brave enough to open my brain. So you have to ask your student, how many years of fellowship support do they have left? Okay. If they are sponsored by, especially my brain, and the money given by us, actually the taxpayer money, I pay tax, you all pay tax, okay? They've been pulled together and pumping into the Ministry of Higher Education, 90 million, okay? Taxpayer money. And the EPU starts to ask my scholarship division in KPT, what is the return of investment? Okay? You will look later on the performance of my brain. The first phase of my brain, I will share later on the performance of it. And yeah, I need to present it in front of Tan Sri KSU, but it's not really a good response from her. Okay? How long can they delay starting family or bringing home a real paycheck? As a student, and you need to ask your student back this question, if they are actually studying as a full-time student. Okay, the longer they are in the system, okay, they are not actually, might be start their family, get married, have children, and then might be join the workforce and so on. Okay, how old do they want to be while still being a student? Okay, balik kampung, people ask, oh, still study? How many years you still study? This is your 5th year of study. Okay, next year Hari Raya, they keep asking you, oh, you still study? How many years that you're studying? Okay, that is what the question that we should throw to the students. And how many good jobs will disappear before they have a PhD? That's very important. Okay, this is what I keep reminding my student in UTM. Okay, I'm actually from Faculty of Education, will be renamed as a School of Education after this. Okay, as been mentioned by Prof. Tamizi. UTM, we're going to merge all the faculties of engineering into one faculty known as Faculty of Engineering. Consists of 980 academicians. So they have School of Civil Engineering, School of Mechanical, and so on. So we're able to get a consensus that we're going to have only 7 faculties after this, starting from this September. So when you see at the succession plan in the faculty in school, you will know that how many will be retired soon and what year that they're going to be retired. And through our survey, most of PhD holder in Malaysia, they will join university to be an academician, not industry. It's only about 2 or 1% who's going to join the industry. But 94% will be professors or academician in the university. So be realistic on the situation in Malaysian university. Okay? In UTM, for example, in the Faculty of Science, by I think 3 years more, 50% of our professor in the Faculty of Science will be retired. So who's going to replace them? 50%. We have about 220 academician in the area of science. So 50% of them will be retired within 3 years. So we need mathematician, we need physics, those who in physics and chemistry, to replace this professor. And the fast way is that to recruit those who have a PhD. Then we need to train them, to send them for postdoc, industrial attachment, because they are new in this area of university. So they need to be trained. So this is where I will actually inform my students. If you will be graduated soon, you're going to replace me. That's the reality. Okay? I'm going to be retired another 10 years ago, another 10 years after this. I need to find someone to replace me. That's the principle in UTM. So I need to groom somebody to replace me in 2028. That's the year that I'm going to be retired. Okay? Be realistic. But might be I'm going to be retired soon. Can? If I have enough money, might be I'm going to retire after 2 or 3 years. Okay? So we need a replacement. So this is what we tell the students, that the clock is ticking. Okay? For the students. And for the supervisors, the clock is also ticking. Okay? Because does the clock tick for us enough to motivate us to be realistic about thesis expectation? When we supervise the students, there is an expectation from the student, from the sponsor, from the embassy, from the parents, from the university. That's the expectation. It's not just only between us and the student, between you and the student. You have something that you need to achieve towards it. And in UTM, we are looking into this matter. I'm not sure whether it's happened in UTHM or not, but in UTM, we receive quite numbers of cases where the students sue the supervisor. Okay? The supervisor went to court. I'm also has been dragged to the court because I'm the Dean of School of Graduate Studies. So one of the name, okay, that the student sue is me. Because I'm actually the custodian of the graduates' rules and regulation. So something happened to the student, meaning that something wrong with the enforcement of the graduate rules and regulation. So in UTM, it's quite normal for the supervisor might be sued by the student. So this is where the accountability is very important. When you receive a student, you need to supervise them, okay, properly. You know their expectation. You need to plan for the study plan. It's not just before this, during our time, isn't it? During our time, we just did our PhD and the supervisor have a right, everything they do, they can do anything and so on, but not today. Okay? Today, okay, with this situation, the students, it's open, it's totally open. The student can sue the supervisor and the supervisor also can sue the student. And the student sue the examiner. Okay, yes, that's the case in UTM. We have quite several cases where we went to court, okay, for this. And that's why we are looking into this graduate education as our serious business, because we believe that we receive students who are matured students, who join the graduate schools or join the faculty. They actually have been, sometimes they pay the tuition fees by themselves. Okay, so we have to make sure that we delivered what has been promised before and so on. Okay, so to be sure to give comment backs on that chapter draft, when they send us a thesis, a writing, as a supervisor, we should not take more than 1 month to read it. Okay, there's a case in UTM. The supervisor took about 2 months to read the thesis, and it makes delay of the viva, have been sued by the student. Because we already put in our SOP, standard operating procedure, that the supervisor need to read the thesis within 2 weeks when the students submit the chapters. Okay? So this is where they will use that statement to the student. Okay? You know your right. Okay? In UTM, we tell the student, this is your right. You can do anything. And to both encourage and push our PhD students to the finish line, that is very important. Okay? The clock is ticking. This is our roles that we have to make sure that we do our part. Yeah? So this is the challenges in the graduate educations. I'm going to highlight 2 main factors. There are others, okay? No doubt, especially on the workload and institution nowadays, to be university professors or academicians is not actually a leisure time anymore. We have so many KPI that we have to fulfill and so on. The first one is the failure and non-completion, okay, and the second one is delay in completion, which is actually completion gaps. That's the 2 points that I will highlight for today's sharing sessions. Okay, others, of course, we can discuss, might be through other platform. So this is the issues and challenges. If we look at in 2008, okay, we have about 8,000 plus PhD holder in Malaysia. Okay, and in 2014, it has been increased up to 14,000. Okay, and 2016 is 17,000, and our target by the government is by 2023, 60,000 PhD holder. We're not going to achieve that. With the my brain and so on, we're not going to achieve that 60,000 by 2023, because now we only have about 17,000 plus, okay, in Malaysia, the PhD holders. So we need more, and more will be retired soon, and the number might be remain as 17,000. And this is the issue and challenges. It starts with the quality, the quality of research, quality of training, the research skills, supervision skills, social skills, and so on. And of course, the stakeholders, they keep demand the qualities of these graduate educations. And MQA, the accreditations, you know that before this MQA have, they are not looking at the graduate programs, okay. In 2013, that is when the start date where the MQA start to audit all the PG program in Malaysian university and list all the PG program in our MQR. Before that, we don't have. MQR is only listed undergraduate program, not postgraduate program. Okay, nowadays we have our MQR, Malaysian Qualification Register, so the program is there. And we need that. This is actually related to the governments. When, let's say the Malaysian governments, okay, they go to certain country, let's say they go to Nigeria, and they start to promote our program in Malaysia. So the first questions that will be asked by the Nigerian government, whether the postgraduate program in Malaysia fully accredited by any quality agency. And the best system that they need to refer is MQA. So in MQR, in that register, will be listed all the program that receive accreditation by MQA. So if your program is not listed in that register, of course, Nigerian government not going to sponsor it. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so the financial sustainability, low return of investment. Okay, remember that we are developing a human being. In terms of return of investment, it's not in terms of dollar and cent. We are actually developing somebody. We're going to develop other people later on. Okay, prudent graduate management. No doubt in UTM. Okay, I was in graduate management since 2004 at the faculty level. At that time, we had not so many students, but in 2010 we start to recruit quite huge number of students, and at that, I think in 2013 our enrollment for postgraduate students is 13,800. No doubt, at that time we are looking at quantity. We are not looking at the quality. We keep recruiting postgraduate students as long as they want to study. You want to study master, you want to study PhD, come to UTM. That is what we did in 2013, 2009, 2010. No doubt we are not really ready at that moment. The graduate school is not ready. Higher wired, okay? The counter full with the student. The students start to shouting everything. The rules and regulation not in place. That happened in UTM, okay? But we did some works. Every day we are looking at the rules of regulation. Every day, sometimes we have to change the rules of regulation. Because we already have that PG academic rules and regulation, but it did not fit into certain cases. Then we start to change. And now we are quite stable with it. We are okay, and we believe that with all the code of practices that we have and the rules of regulation, we are able to remain as 9,800 postgraduate students at this moment in UTM with 5,800 PhD students. And we kind of selective nowadays, looking at only the best students that we're going to recruit in UTM. Okay? So quantity, that is the focus, the intake, the enrollment, the retaining pool of student, widening access versus limited. And of course, this is the issue and challenges. It's not happened in UTM, it happened around the world. Okay, when I attended certain council meeting among graduate schools in Australia, in US, and in UK, we actually can see that we are actually face the same problem in terms of postgraduate management. Okay, that's the reality. becomes what we call it as GOT. Okay. There are two definitions of GOT, and GOT is very important. Okay. This is remind me back the reason why I would like to be a lecturer in the university. Okay. I joined UTM 1995 as a tutor. Okay. At that moment, my aim is just to be an academician. I like to teach. I like to have a student in my room. I like to actually share my knowledge. That's my aim. Okay? But when you have been appointed as academic administrator, now you know how to run a university. You don't have enough money. You have to make sure that every student who actually register into your university, they are actually your asset. You have to make sure that they receive services, that very tip-top services, because when they're out from that university, whether they graduated or not, okay, they will actually share the stories about UTM. And that is, they are going to become, okay, our ambassador. So if they have might be not actually good experience with UTM, they will tell other students that don't come to UTM. Okay? They will inform to others, don't come to UTM. Okay? The services is packed. The supervisor is out. That's what the story that they will tell others. And you're not going to receive students. Without students, you don't have money to run a university. Believe me or not, when the Prime Minister announced, okay, end of this year, every government servant will receive a bonus, 1,000 pay extra, like bantuan and so on. The university not going to receive any budget from the central unit, from the Ministry of Higher Education. The bonus in university must be paid by the university itself. In UTM, when the Prime Minister announced, I think 1,000, last time 1,000 or 500? 500, the VC dah panic lah. Where to get these 5 millions to pay all the staff? 500 ringgit. This bantuan kewangan. The Prime Minister just announced it. But the Vice Chancellor and all the top management has to find the money. 5 millions for 500 ringgit. If they announce it 1 month salary, payment, I think the VCs, they keep. And we have to find that 5 millions. Because the money is not from the Ministry of Higher Education. The money is from the university. Sebab kita badan berkanun. Okay? So we don't have enough money. And nowadays, if you look at the budget that we receive for this year, UTM receives about 85% of the budget, centralized budget, to pay the salary of all staff in UTM. The other 15%, which is actually up to 140 million, we have to find by ourselves to pay the salary of me and all the VC, Deputy Vice Chancellor and so on. So it's not easy to sit in the top management. Because this is what I think that I don't want to be an academic administrator anymore. Because it's actually against with the aim that I would like to be a lecturer to teach. I don't want to think about the money. But, Prof. Tamizi, that's the correct situation. The dean of the faculty, they know this. They discuss a lot. We don't have enough money in the university. In UTM, our Vice Chancellor keep remind us saying that we don't have enough money. We run our business. Pastikan kita tak rugi, tapi tak untung banyak. That we still can survive. So where to get the money? Postgraduate. Because undergraduate, you subsidize 95%. 95% of undergraduates subsidized by the government. And if they did not subsidize us, with the same tuition fees, lagi havoc. Where did we going to get the money to pay the salary? The Ministry of Higher Education now, they pay us 95% or 85% budget, centralized budget mengurus, because we subsidize undergraduate. In UTM, okay, I'm not sure UTHM have diploma or not. Tuition fees for diploma is cheaper than Tadika punya fees, tau? Believe me or not. Okay? So that is where we would like to help Malaysian. So more Malaysian we have opportunity to join the higher education institution. So this is where to get the money. And believe it or not, in UTM, this information we share to everybody, even our gut dekat UTM to know that we don't have enough money. So you have to know that you have to deliver very well, because we have to find money to pay your salary. If you as a penolong pendaftar or might be lecturer, you did not deliver what you should deliver, then you waste our time. Everybody has to play a role. In UTM, everybody say that you have to play a role as what you have been appointed. So 60% for postgraduate in UTM, we still subsidize it. About 55% subsidized by the university. With the highest tuition fees, we believe that our tuition fees is much higher than UTHM, isn't it? With that tuition fees also, we subsidize 55%. Okay? And then where to get the money? My brain. It's true. If you receive many recipients, my brain recipient, you will get the money from the government. So that's why this 90 million is something like a way the ministry would like to assist the university to get the money. Then they sponsored the masters and PhD students to study in UTM and study in UTHM, because you will get money from their tuition fees. Okay? So if, for example, I make a simulation in the Ministry of Higher Education, if you receive, I think your candidates is around 222 will be interviewed today. They're actually having an interview in UTM. Don't worry, I already informed all the professors in UTM. Be nice with all students, regardless of whether they are UTHM or UTM and so on. 222 students. So with that kind of numbers of students, how many PhD? 50%. 50% PhD. If I'm going to simulate it, this year UTHM will receive about 3 million. From that tuition fees. Okay? So, it's quite enough to pay our bonus lah. If the Ministry of Higher Education announce the bonus. It's true. That's what the reality of it. So that's why you need more postgraduate students. In UTM, when we actually put one of our focus to be a graduate focus university in 2010, some of my friends, they are quite reluctant. They say, this is not right. We should train more undergraduates. But when we inform them that if you have more undergraduate, you have to subsidize. You need postgraduate to subsidize the undergraduate. So you need to balance it. So in UTM, we have about 45% postgraduate, 55% is undergraduate. But still we have responsibility also to run undergraduate program for Malaysian. So this is GOT. That's why GOT is very important. GOT for MOHI, 48 months for full-time, 72 months for part-time. Okay. For Myra, because we are one of the RUs, okay, there's no difference between part-time and full-time. We just put it 42 months. From the day the student register till the Senat date. Okay. Why do they put it that kind of durations, the day that the student registered till the Senat date? Because the reason for IGOT is stand for intake GOT. Okay, I'm talking about GOT. After this, I'm talking about intake GOT. For the IGOT, if you read the silver books, one of the playbook by the Ministry of Higher Education, in the silver books, it mentions that the silver book is to measure the efficiency and productivity of the university. Why they put it the start date when the student registered till the Senat date? Along the way, what happened? Okay, the student actually supervised by the supervisor, whether your lab have enough equipment, whether the supervisor is really competent to supervise this student to be finished in 48 months for IGOT, whether your graduate school or faculty manage the Viva properly, on time and so on, whether your Senat actually function very well, having meeting every month to endorse the graduates and so on. So they measure it, the productivity and efficiency of the university. Why? That's why they put it. Start from the student register till the senat date. Because everybody involved along the way. Not only the supervisor, the faculty, kerani yang menguruskan viva, betul? Examiners, if you have PAR to send the thesis, everybody involved along the way. So this is how they measure the productivity and efficiency of the university. So that's why IGOT is very important. And you know what is the effects of IGOT towards our word mengurus? University have to answer like what have been informed by Prof. Tamizi, your Vice Chancellor, Prof. Wahid, same with our Vice Chancellor, Datuk Wahid, both is Wahid. Okay. Every university we have what we call a headline KPI. The headline key performance indicator, there are 9 items. So one of the item is IGOT, okay, the percentage of intake GOT of PhD. The target is 40% this year through all university for PhD. Master is 50%. Undergraduate 55%. So any university did not fulfill this headline KPI, your word mengurus will be cut. Gaji kena potong lah. Dah tu universiti tak ada duit nak pay your salary. So be open, maybe at certain time we accept that our salary will be cut by the university. Okay, that's the process. And it has been mentioned in our Malaysian education blueprint, started from 2015, that university will actually be independent. There are a cut of budget slowly from 10% to 20% till 30%. The centralized budget. So that's why in UTM, when we recruit student, we inform directly to the supervisor. Jaga baik-baik student ni. Make sure student ni akan grad. Because it's really difficult to recruit new student. Especially international student. It's not easy to get a student. I believe graduate school have been promoted very well on recipient of my brain. Habis-habisan I tengok kat Facebook. Join us UTHM. My brain is open. Please apply. We do it everything. In UTM, sometimes it's against of our rules lah. We call the student in the morning. Are you ready to come for interview? Because if they join UTM, we get the money from the Ministry of Higher Education. Besides that, they must be graduated on time. Because we are developing somebody. So that's why supervisors, if you receive a student, think twice if you want to put fail to the student. Unless the student reserved to be failed. Okay, that is where the ecosystem must support to train this student. And this is what my sharing is all about. It's not only the role of supervisor, the ecosystem in the university also important. You have to prepare the competent supervisor. You have to prepare training for the student. Everything you have to prepare, have to be prepared so that the student will be graduating on time. Graduating on time is not between the student and supervisor only. Remember that. It can be reality if you receive a very good student. If you receive a very good student, independent student, knowledgeable student, I would like to supervise 20 students lah. At one time. But we receive different students, sometimes different country, graduating from different education system, which actually sometimes don't have any background in doing research. And then suddenly, buat PhD. It's really a challenge nowadays to be a supervisor. And you cannot just use one simple way of supervising students to all students that you have. Okay? So how to do that? So this is the GOT. And why GOT is very important? Because it's related to our centralized budget. Okay? And we have to assist the university on this matter. Okay, this is the factors contributing to the loss of research candidate. So you can see that commitment given to the life outside their research. Of course, if you receive part-time student, they have their family life, they have their work and so on. How do they going to make it balance? between the studies and their life. Personality, life demand, crisis, okay, this has happened to the student. The ecosystem also lacks of genuine research culture, department facilities and management. That's one thing, okay, not only the competency of the supervisor and student, the ecosystem. Lacking of confidence, fear of failure, lack of confidence in own learning ability, this happen among Malaysian, okay. Difficulty with methodological skills, problem of isolations, okay. Research question and area access to research subject, context and context research, and professional guidance, mentor and expert by supervisor. That is our part as a supervisor. And financial constraint, okay. Financial constraint is an issue also in UTM. We receive quite numbers of students, but we have lacks of financial assistance. We do have financial assistance to support local student, international student, but we need to negotiate it with the top administrator and our besar office, because you know that it's not easy. It's not easy to provide financial assistance to the students, and that's why my brain is very, very important. Okay, we call it my brain as durian runtuh also lah to the university. It's true. Okay? That's why when they say, Prof, we want to open my brain, they call me in January, they say that, Prof, we want to open my brain, we need a help from the Graduate Dean Council this time, because we want to interview the recipient of my brain, because the performance of my brain before this is not so good. Okay, EPU has been sending warning letter to the KPTs on my brain management and so on. So we thought that yes, why not? We want to fix the matters. Okay, this is the numbers of academic with doctorate in higher education institution in Malaysia by 2015. You can see that now we have about 16,000, which is actually citizen. The non-citizen is 2,850. Okay, and we have 19,000. Which is actually, there is an increment in terms of from 2015 to 2009 to 2015. You can see that 2009 we have 10,000, but in 2015 we have 19,000. This might be due to because of the quite numbers of my brain recipient and my PhD recipient graduated from Malaysian University. Okay, and this is actually what happened. You can see that I put the my brain line there. This is my brain. Okay, 2011. My brain has been introduced in 2010, initiative by the Graduate Dean Council. We actually prepared a paper in 2010, fight for this scholarship. We make Singapore as an example. We make European country as an example. If you look at in Denmark, in Netherlands, if you receive many PhD students, okay, studied in your university, so your centralized budget will be based on the numbers of PhD students that study in that university. Okay, because in Denmark and Netherlands, the tuition fee is free. The student did not need to pay a tuition fees if you study in depth. In that, and if you receive, let's say you have 5,000 PhD students, so the government will give a centralized budget based on that 5,000 PhD student, and the student did not need to pay the tuition fees. That's happened in European country. So this is where we try to fight. Okay, we fight with the Ministry of Higher Education. We say that why not we start to offer a scholarship to assist Malaysian to study at master's and PhD level. And some of you might be criticized, might be argue on the my brain of 2018. Remember, my brain started in 2010, and we start to pay the student 2011. Although it started in 2010, we sponsor also those who enroll in 2010. But 2011, the money has been released in 5 years till 2015. At that time, of course, we target more PhD recipients. So we thought that at that time we need 60% my PhD recipient and 40% my master recipient. But due to lack of candidates for my PhD, then we change it 60% my master's and 40% my PhD. But no longer for this time. This time we fix with 70% my PhD recipient, 30% my master. Why do we change actually in 2010? Because at that time we don't have enough students or candidates who already have a master degree in Malaysia. We have few of it. But now, you can see the statistic later, after MyBrain has been implemented 5 years, we have enough master degree students, graduates who can actually join the PhD program. So that's why we put it as my PhD 70%, my master 30%. But based on the performance, those who have been, we interview for this year, because it's about 5,080 MyBrain recipient this time we interviewed. Okay, and from that 3,000 is going to be my master recipient, 2,300 my PhD recipient. We still lack in terms of my PhD candidates. Okay, so this is actually the growth of it. You can see it, and the PhD is the blue one, and this is the total, and you can see the increments in terms of the master intake. And if you look at the enrollment, this is intake. This is intake. Okay. If you look at the enrollment, you can see that the enrollments of PhD in 2015 is 35,000. That's quite huge. Okay. And masters is about 84,000. And the total is about 119,000. Okay. This is due to because of MyBrain. At one time, MyBrain, the budget for MyBrain for 2011 and 2015, at that moment, okay, every year, we receive 200 million to MyBrain budget. The ministry received 200 million per year. And at one moment, we cannot actually spend that 200 million per year. We have to return back the money to the government. If you look at the commitment, the whole commitment of the MyBrain recipient, we spend up to 600 million a year to support the MyBrain recipient. That 90 million is out from that commitment. Is totally for the new candidates. The 90 million is totally for the new candidates. That's why next year, MyBrain will be no longer offer. They will change it to other scholarship. This is the last time we offer MyBrain. And this is quite sad. When I presented in front of our KSU, this is where I start to receive harsh word lah, to all the graduate deans. You are not supervisor, you are not who receive that kind of harsh word from the Tasir KSU. But we are the one who bring this data and present it in front of the ministry and in front of EPU. This is a sad story. You can see the numbers of PG graduates, okay? PhD, because you know that, if I can show you back, don't look at enrollment, look at intake. Sorry, look at intake. If you look at intake, if you look at the intake of PG students, enrollment might be, some of them is not really, is actually already in the system. You can see that this is intake. If 2011 we received 6,885, okay, intakes of PhD, okay, they should be graduated by 2015, isn't it? They should be graduated by 2015. So what happened to the graduates? Sorry. Okay, what happened to the graduates? Then you can see that only 3,709 graduated. Remember, the intake is 6,000 in 2011. So it's about 3,000, and this 3,709 might be actually is actually enrolled in 2012. Okay, so you can see that not all graduated on time. And this is the numbers of master. Remember, the enrollment is 80,000. Okay, and remember the enrollment of PG 119,000. And this is the numbers who graduated: 22,000, 19,000, and 3,000. That's an increase a little bit compared to the numbers of graduates, but not for PhD. PhD is a little bit increased from 2014 to 2015. This is really a sad story when we actually present it in front of the ministry. And this is the student intake, enrollment, and graduates. You can see that we recruit so many students, but not so many graduated. If we receive 2011, this is the enrollment, this is the intake, so they should actually graduated. Should be more than these 3,000 will be graduated. Okay, so this is the sad story that we need to face the reality. And when we ask for more my brain, so the ministry still keep asking us, where is the return of investment? Prof. Zaida, where is the return of investment? So, how do I going to say it in front of it? And reality, if you compare it among RUs, this is RUs, okay? No doubt the enrollments of PhD students, intakes, enrollment and output is more at RU. So this is the numbers of PhD enrollment in RU, intake, PhD, and graduates. So, like for example, last year, UTM, we produced 757 PhD graduates. Every day we have up to 15 viva. That's why we centralize it. We decentralize it to the faculty. Okay? In 2018, graduate school no longer handle PhD viva. So all the faculty have to handle the viva. And we can see the improvement where the GOT has been increased a little bit. Because you are at the faculty, you can manage it properly, you have more staff, so you can handle it. And you can control the internet examiner. Sometimes it's quite difficult for me to call the internet examiner, which is actually not in the same faculty from my faculty. Now it's quite difficult for me to remind them to read the thesis. But if the viva will be conducted and handled by the faculty, the dean of faculty can just easily call the examiner. Okay, you already received this thesis, but you did not submit the report yet. Because it's just colleagues among your friends and so on. Okay. So this is the reality of current scenario of situation. And let's spot towards my brain, really another sad story. Okay? Not so many graduate deans want to join me meeting at the Ministry of Higher Education because they know that they can be, memang kena marah punya. Okay? But what to do, we have to face it. Okay. So this has happened we collected data by 31st December 2016. My PhD sponsored from 2011 to 2015, 8,000. PhD industry 237, and my master is 35,000. And to be realistic, we inform KPT when we're going to measure GOT for migrant recipient, we have to look at the recipient in 2011. In 2011, my PhD recipient is 1,128, 54 my PhD industry, 24,000 my master. And they should be graduated by 2016, isn't it? They should be graduated by 2016. So this is the numbers of them who graduated. 564, 9 for PhD industry, and 15,000. So this is the performance. Only 50% from 1,128 graduated in 2016. And the ministry keep asking me, my PhD student receive allowance, isn't it? Yes. At that moment, 2,000, I think, 2,000, maybe 2,300 per month. Tuition fees have been paid by the government. Yes. So why they are not graduating on time? They're not going to face any problem on the financial constraint or so what? This is the question that I should ask the student. And as a representative of Graduate Student Association, you should ask your colleague, You have been given 3 years, full 3 years with full salary, full tuition fees. No need to think about whether you have enough money or not to eat. And then you are not finished on time. They start to blame supervisor. Oh, my supervisor said that it's quite miracle to graduating on time in UTM, especially in this field. I'm not graduating on time, you're not going to graduate on time. That's the supervisor said to the student. So what to do? When the student actually finish their duration sponsored by the government, then you start to know the problem that they start to missing, not in the university. They have to work to find their own money and so on. And that's why, as I did mention, the clock is ticking. So this is what we know, we have to know. So this is what the performance. This is not good. EPU says that. Prof Zaida, this is not good. We thought that this is going to be 80%. Then what to say and what to answer it? I say, I can't control it, Tasir, but this is, yeah, you can control it, but we give a budget to university. We pay the salary of a university lecturer. And so on. Where to put the face? I do not know. Okay, that's why when I go, I attended any meeting in the ministry is quite sad and yeah, but I have to face it. So this is what happened. 62%. This is where in 2017, no my brain. If you say that, no my brain, the return of investment is very terrible. No my brain. So, but we fight again. Okay, we fight again. We provide a qualitative data saying that there's a good about my brain. Okay, because my brain has changed. Okay, Malaysian from somebody from might be before this not working and not receive any salary, but then join university, have been appointed as a senior lecturer, receive about 7,000 salary, and this is what the return of investment. We are developing people. And if you're going to count dollar and cent, the asset behind this PhD holder is actually, we calculate it to dollar and cent when we present it in front of EPU. Say that you are developing somebody, Malaysian, who going to working in Malaysian university, who actually have a price, okay, coding based on his or her knowledge. And that's why they say that, okay, I still remember in that meeting room, Tasir KSU say that to me, okay, 3 words, Prof Zaida. I have 1 minute for me to fight my brain for 2018. I said, it's improve Malaysian life. It's actually, we are developing more expert in Malaysia. And the third thing I say, this is good for Malaysia. Okay, that's all. Out, good. Because I have been wait at that moment 3 hours to have a meeting for Tasir KSU. She only allocate me about 5 minutes to fight for my brain. And then she said that, yes, okay, I will fight for you. Then my brain 90 million is coming. Okay, so this is where, this is where for this time around for 2018, my brain, the KPI for GOT has been put by the Ministry of Higher Education 60%. IGOT. So make sure, 60%, before that they wanted 80%. I said, no, I don't want that 90 million if you put it 80%. So 60%. So we have to try it. Okay, what happened to others? This is what we are looking into it also. So you can see that graduate on time. Okay, this is the percentage. That one, this is from 37 December 2016. And this is quite sad also, the numbers of student attrition rate, the percentage of student attrition rate. You can see that 451 is actually failed due to fail, withdrawing, terminated from study. 451 for the 2011 my brain recipient. Okay, 7,000 numbers of sponsors 7,000. So you can see that the attrition rate is about 6.3%. PhD industry, no doubt, PhD industry, there's a rules of it stated in the MOA. If the student change from one company to another company totally, the MOA will be cancelled, the scholarship will be cancelled. Because the research is actually based on the company. Okay, if they move it from proton to shell, totally the scholarship will be stopped. That is PhD industry. Okay, no doubt. So you can see the master student 2,489 fail or withdraw from the study. This is where, from the perspective of student, we need to share to the student also. Okay, you have been given monthly allowance to concentrate on your study for yourself. Okay, and have been given a supervisor, might be a good supervisor to supervise you. So this is not a monthly salary. This is actually an allowance where you need to commit in your study and then make sure that you will be graduating on time. Okay, this is what we tell the students. Okay, and because of this performance, that's why my brain for my PhD allowance has been reduced to 1,800. Okay, and you have to, because this is for yourself. From the perspective of student, this is to develop yourself to be somebody. Okay, and for the supervisor, one thing that you have to remember that, okay, if you don't have student, I don't think you will get promoted to associate professor. You need students to do your research, to publish paper, to apply research grant and so on. Okay, because you need a student to create your empire in research. I need students to do all my projects, to do together, to collaborate, to do a research, to collaborate, to publish paper. If I don't have students with the position of Dean of School of Graduate Study, I don't think my yearly appraisal is going to be above 80. Okay? In UTM, although I'm a Dean of School of Graduate Study, because I'm a professor, I need to produce at least 7 articles corpus. If I don't receive that 7 corpus articles, my 25% for research, I will get might be 5%. So I will lose 20%. So my yearly appraisal going to be 80, only 80. If I'm good in terms of personality, KPI and so on. Okay? And every year I have to make sure that I have 1 student PhD graduated under my supervision. If I don't have that, I will lose another 10 marks. That's in UTM. That's why in UTM, supervisor is actually searching for student. If you don't have a PhD student, okay, in UTM, as a senior lecturer, you don't have a PhD student, you're going to lose 25 marks. Okay, that's in UTM. That's why it's not really difficult in UTM to assign student to supervisor. Everybody wants student. Because if you don't have student, your marker SKT tahunan, you will lose easily 20 or 30 marks. Then you will be less 60 exit policy. That's true. Okay? So that is the reality, okay, in UTM. So as a Dean of School of Graduate Study, I have to make sure that I have student. I have to have every year student graduated from me, PhD. I have 1 saja graduated, I receive 10 marks. No student graduated in a year, 0 mark. So I lost 10 marks. So the maximum SKT that I will receive is going to be 90 marks. And no paper, another 20 marks. So the dean can get 70% in UTM. Okay? Because the other 50% is KPI. But the other 50% is your performance. That's in UTM. So it's not difficult to get to encourage supervisor to supervise student, and GOT is our move towards it. Okay, and this is the sad story that I have to share with the ministry, but that's the reality. Okay. Okay, let's look at the median of time to completion from entry into graduate school by discipline. This data is actually from US University 2012. So you can see that in the area of education, my area, yesterday we analyzed one data looking at the performance of IGOT in UTM, which area is actually contribute less. That's true. Social science might be took longer time for the students to graduating on time. I'm not sure why. Okay, might be due to because of the expectations of the examiner sometime during the proposal presentation. That's correct, isn't it? Some examiner, when the student present a proposal, they want it to be a complete proposal. In UTM, we already changed it. For the social science, in my faculty, if you prepare 30 pages or 40 pages of proposal, you can present it. You do not need to have a complete writing. Okay, some area like education, they want it to be a complete writing, and suddenly after the proposal presentation, the proposal rejected by the examiner. Then need another 1 year to prepare it. So the writing will come later, just the concept of it. So that's education. Humanities, life science is about 6.9 years in US. You know that US, they have 4 years of studies, isn't it? They have dissertation and classes. And this is the UTM performance. If you look at in our performance that I would like to share, in 2013, okay, we can see that there are students graduated within 28 months. Okay? This one, this is 28 months. This is 31 months. But in 2015, we have students graduated within 28 months from the day he registered till the Senate meeting. Because in UTM, every month we have a Senate meeting. Yeah? Every month we have a Senate meeting. But we have more. We also have students who graduated in 113 months, 123 months. This is a student who love to stay longer in UTM. Let them stay there. But don't ever discourage the student who want to graduating on time. So our mean is about 42 or 48 months. Okay, the majority of that is around 42 or 48 months. You can see the performance. Okay, and that's why our performance for GOT is about 25 to 35%. It's not high. Okay, but it's quite enough for us to maintain RU. To maintain RU, our performance must be 20%. Okay, if we did not receive 20%, then we might be going to lose RU status. If we lose RU status, we lose research grant. We lose that 100 million per year that we receive from the Ministry of Higher Education on top of our centralized budget just for research. If we lose our RU status, we lose our research grant, we're going to lose also scholarship to local students, which is actually Zamalah. Okay? In 2017, no my brain, but we still can support our student, local student, through our Zamalah scholarship. Zamalah scholarship is actually from RU budget. From RU budget. Okay, this is what we keep reminding our student and our supervisors. RU is very, very important for us. We call it in UTM, RU is our marwah. Okay, this is time to completion of PhD. Okay, time of completion of PhD around the globe. So you can see that in US is about 7.5 years, in UK 7 years, in Europe 5 years, in Malaysia, where we analyze the data, is about 4.3 years. Not bad, not bad. In Japan, they say 5 years, but there are some who graduated in Japan in 3 years. 3 years. Okay, it depends on the scope of the project. That's why as an MTUN, you are MTUN, isn't it? Malaysian Technical University Network. Okay. UTHM has a project. Is it headed by UTHM or by UTM? That MTUN Professional Doctorate. UTHM, okay. So that's why in UTHM, you are actually Malaysian Technical University Network. So we encourage you not offering Doctor of Philosophy program. We are encourage you to offer professional doctorate program, which is actually Doctor of Engineering, Doctor of Social Science, Doctor of Architecture, Doctor of anything, professional doctorate. Because professional doctorate, okay, the research is based on problem, the organization problem, company problem. So you need to produce a product, less thick writing of the thesis. It's more on commercialization of the product. So you will get high percentage of GOT compared to Doctor of Philosophy. We are in RU, we have to focus on Doctor of Philosophy. In UTM, we offer Doctor of Engineering and Doctor of Software Engineering, Doctor of Engineering. We offer it in UTM. If you look at the research of Doctor of Engineering and Doctor of Philosophy, okay, you can see the difference, the major difference. The Doctor of Engineering, they solve a company problem. It's really a small problem. Proton has a problem about their car doors, something like noise of the car doors. Okay? So solve that problem, you get a Doctor of Engineering. That's professional doctorate. But if you do a Doctor of Philosophy, no, you cannot solve that problem. You need to look at the global perspective in that area of problem. Isn't it? What is the theory behind it? And so on. That's why in UTM, we honored professional doctorate. We want it DBA to be DBA. DBA don't be a Doctor of Philosophy. You have your own scope of research. So that's why we honored UTHM to head the project under professional doctorate path. So that you don't fight with us in UTM. We are RU. We need more graduates in Doctor of Philosophy. But we still have the professional doctorate. We are not MTUN. But you are MTUN. MTUN, you can offer professional doctorate easily. Okay, it's more on a small scale problem. But commercialization is the focus. That's why in Japan, they claim professional doctorate they can graduate in 3 years. Because during a viva, the student only prepare about 30 pages writing and they bring the product. Okay, during viva. This is my PhD. Any question must be related to this product. They bring a small scale product during the viva. So every question is on the product, not on the theoretical framework, not on the philosophy parts of engineering and so on. So you should have that advantage. And you have to change your mind because might be you are graduated with Doctor of Philosophy, isn't it? Some of you are graduated from Doctor of Philosophy, not from Doctor of Engineering. That's why you need to go for industrial attachment to see the problem from the industry perspective. Okay, we encourage it in the council, Malaysian Graduate Dean Council. We say it to MTUN, do that. You should do that research. And of course, we need to educate our examiners. Because it's really a big problem later on. The thesis is on Doctor of Engineering, industrial problem, but suddenly the examiner is something like don't have any experience in industry, expect the thesis, expectation, his or her expectation is that the thesis must be a Doctor of Philosophy thesis. The student fail because of that. So that's why you have to change everything. The form has to be changed. In UTM, Doctor of Engineering, the form is totally different from Doctor of Philosophy. And we have the third examiner from the industry to look at that from the industry perspective. That is where the focus of MTUN. Then we don't go into, you don't compare us with RU. So we don't have no problem with that, okay? So this is the range, if you look at Australia 4 years. Yes, Australia is good. When I sit among Graduate Dean Council in Australia, I went several meetings together with them. Last year in Vietnam, we have a meeting on it. They are very good. When they claim it's 4 years, yes, 4 years. But no viva in Australia, isn't it? In Australia, no viva. But the students still have great and competent communication skill. How do they do that? Every semester they have to present it at the faculty level. The progress of the research. They don't have a viva, but every semester it's compulsory for the student to present it in the faculty or in the department because it's easy to handle it. Don't expect graduate school to handle everything. Okay? So that is happened in Australia. They are very good. The council is very good, consists of 78 universities in Australia. So this is actually, if you compare it in terms of enrollment, doctoral enrollment in Australia from 2000 to 2010 is around 27,000 and the graduates is about 3,000. If you compare in Malaysia, this is what our enrollment, 35,000. And our doctoral graduates is around 16,000. This is 16,000. Not bad. We produce more. We produce more compared to Australia. And that's why When I attended a meeting with the Graduate Dean Council in Australia, they said that they did not want to compete anymore with Malaysia University. They want to collaborate because they know that there are quite numbers of experts in Malaysia who can supervise, okay, a PhD student from Malaysia. They just want to collaborate. They don't want to compete. They want to collaborate in terms of offering joint degree, double degree, dual degree program with Malaysian University. Okay, this is also the trend of recruiting international students also, that is the trend. For example, at one time in UTM, we have 2,000 Iranian students. 2,000, okay? And now we have about 400 or 500. So we already lose our market with Iran. We actually coming that we're going to lose market is with Nigeria. That is what our prediction. Indonesia, we lose our market because when at one time there are so many Indonesians came to UTM to study in engineering, and when they back to the Indonesia, they're developing their university by themselves. They did not need you anymore. This is what happened in Malaysia, isn't it? At one time we send our Malaysian to UK, US to study. We don't send it anymore. Not so many as what we sent before this. So this has happened. We predict in UTM we're going to lose Nigerian market in Nigeria, Indonesia, and we are exploring more. We are exploring more new market. Like for example, Bangladesh, Pakistan also we're going to lose our market. In UTM we have about 300 Pakistani students, but we're going to lose the market slowly. Okay, this is what we have to predict to survive in higher education institution, because we have to find more money in UTM. So this is what we are looking into it. And this might be against our principle as an academician, because as I did mention before, I just want to be a lecturer. I don't want to think about whether the university get money or not. From where do you going to get money? I don't want to think it at first. But now, as a lecturer, you have to. You have to. That's the trend nowadays. Okay, and then this is the publication growth that give us and help us a lot, and I believe this is due to because of our graduate enrollment. This is a growth of our publication from 1996 to 2015. You can see the growth has been exceeded Singapore and Indonesia and Thailand, but has been down a little bit. We are not sure about in 2016. We thought that it's going to be down a little bit down there. Okay, but this is the growth, and it helped us in terms of ranking. That's why UM has been climbing the ladder. Might be, we hope that next year UM is going to be top 100 university in the world. Okay, and this is actually the reason why GOT, okay, has been. I would like to summarize it. First of all, is national agenda. It's an indicator for productivity of an institution. And it's related to our centralized budget. If your performance system of GOT is good, achieve the target, then you receive what has been promised to you for the centralized budget. Self-satisfaction, okay, greater recognition and credibility, and to make sure the scope of research is still relevant. That's very important. If you have a student right now, we say actually with you almost 6 years, remember what had been written before this for the proposal presentation is out, especially the literature review. Because might be he or she present his proposal in 2000, let's say 2012, okay, and now it's 2018, okay, and of course some of the literature is already out. So the longer they stay with you, they have to change a lot on the writing. That's why GOT is very important. And sometimes the student is quite unlucky. During his viva, the research is no longer relevant. That is quite sad. That's one there. To make sure the scope is still relevant and greater employment opportunity. Remember, that is for the career advancement. Okay, this is the silver book. Okay. This is the ranking of Malaysia. Okay, we have what we call it Universitas 21 ranking. Okay, overall Malaysia is number 25 for overall ranking under the Universitas 21 ranking. There are 4 components that rank the university, the country. This is a country ranking, not the university ranking. This is the country ranking. So you can see that in terms of resources, not bad. Malaysia government is at number 11, spend a lot for higher ed. Environment 13, connectivity, some quite sad, 34, ranking number 34, and output, ranking number 39. Meaning that we pump in money so huge in higher ed, but we have been ranking as a country number 39 as an output. So we are not productive and efficient as what has been measured by Universitas 21 ranking. Look at Australia. This is Australia. Has been ranked resources as number 15, meaning that we put budget more than Australia in terms of higher ed. Look at the output. Number 3. Ni kata orang macam letak budget, tak ada return of investment. Can you look it? And overall number 10, the environment is number 3, connectivity number 12. This is why IGOT is very, very important. Okay, can you see it? Resources is actually lower than us in terms of ranking, but the output is higher than us. No doubt for US. US has been put resources as number 1, output as number 1, environment as number 1, connectivity as number 1. So if we put our resources, okay, if we put our resources as number 11, our output at least should be number 11, isn't it? But our output is number 39. That's another sad story. Okay, that as an academician we should know about this. Okay, and the silver book is measuring the productivity. Okay, improving academic productivity by increasing IGOT and optimizing cost per full-time student equivalent. Okay, because if you have, for example, let's say this year UTHM received 100 PhD students. Okay, these 100 PhD students, if you refer to IGOT, intake GOT, by 2022, they should be graduated for a year. Can? Let's say only 50% graduated. The other 50 students stay in the system. We already waste our resources because that 50 students still in the system using the same resources in 2022 because tak graduan lagi. Sedangkan if all of the 100 students graduated, UTHM can recruit more new students. That's the concept of IGOT. And the thing is that memang ada orang fikir lagi lama dia dalam sistem lagi banyak kita dapat yuran. Betul lah, kan? Tapi you have to remember that they are using your time. Instead of you are supervising 5 students, 5 students A, B, C, D, E, if they not graduating on time, 6 years after this, you still supervising A, B, C, D, E. You should actually supervising the other student, which is actually maybe STU dan sebagainya. That is not productive, measuring by the university. And costs are rising faster than available fund. That is very, remember, funding. And this is why the UniTP silver books are looking at the cost per graduates in order to address the unique challenges, keeping the cost under control while meeting the demands for higher education. So this IGOT, you look at it, is that the needs to measure IGOT is tied with a cohort. So even those students who take longer to graduate still receive a degree, that degree took more time than intended and therefore cost more for the university. Yeah, because you are using the same resources for the same student. That is waste out of money and resources. Okay, and this is what IGOT. So you want to improve the academic productivity is the key to educating more students with the same resources. What happened nowadays is that sampai alat tu rosak, student tu tak gerak-gerak. Then you have to buy a new equipment, still tak gerak. That is the issue of IGOT. Why IGOT is very important. With some students, we reasonably need more time to complete a program of study. Yes, okay. We are not saying that GOT is 100%. We just put it as 40%, but we never achieve it. Another thing that you remember that when you go for marketing, okay, overseas, the first question that the sponsor will ask you is that what is your percentage of completion on time in your university? Because I would like to spend or plan the budget that I should sponsor for this candidate. This is what is very important for you to claim that your GOT is high. Okay? And GOT versus GOT by MyRA, this is the difference. GOT by MyRA is the numbers of PhD graduated within 7 semesters. Okay, a percentage of PhD student graduated within 7 semesters from the numbers of PhD graduated in a year of assessment. It's quite easy to achieve for GOT for MyRA. But not for IGOT. IGOT is based on cohort, based on the intake of the students. How many graduated on time? Like for example, 100 students enroll into UTHM. After 4 years, how many of them graduated on time? Okay, yang GOT ni simple. It's just a numbers of, if you have 200 PhD graduates for this year, how many GOT? Okay, tapi kalau IGOT is based on cohort to measure your productivity. If you ask us, our IGOT also is not high in UTM. Is about 21%. 21%. That's quite okay lah. I heard also other universities at 5%, 3%, and so on. Okay, this is the duration for IGOT, the silver book. So you can see that for PhD, all programs except architecture, medicine, dentistry, and veterinary 4 years. Architecture, medicine, and dentistry and veterinary 5 years, and masters 2 and 3 years. Okay, but not for MyRA. For RU, must be 42 months to measure it, regardless of which discipline. And this is the performance of the university. Okay, you can see that for bachelor degree, quite okay for most of the university, 80% above. For masters, is about 42%. The median is 42%. Okay, and MRU, Malaysian Research University, this is MTON. This is MTON, so you can see it. They hide the name of the university. And Comprehensive University is another color, and this is for PhD, 33%. Okay, that's the, I think this is the average or median. Okay, the average, I think average. Okay, so you can see that, the number. And this is quite sad. Some university is 0. 3%, okay, and master is quite easy to achieve because master you calculate it together with the top course. Master here including top course, mixed mode, and full research, but PhD is all PhD mixed mode and full research. Okay. No student graduated on time. No, they have student. Ada kosong, semua tu tak on time. That is quite sad, and they will look into this one. Okay, last month we presented it in front of Tan Sri KSU. All the graduate deans ada, Prof ada semasa tu. Okay, dia dah tengok benda ni, then they will cut our budget next year. This is our performance. I'm not sure UTM mana sebab high, tapi around this one lah. If I'm not mistaken, we are around 34%, something like that. Okay, this is a sharing of institutional best practices where don't wait for the graduate school to initiate this initiative. Faculty also can do it. Your risk group also can do it. Under yourself as supervisor also boleh buat. Saya selalu buat small under my supervision. The first one is on the student progress. Review of the student progress at the end of the first year, which include consideration of evaluation from all course instructor and lab mentor.
Maksudnya, don't wait till at the end of 3 years of study. Every year or every semester, assess the student performance based on the outcome. Meaning that, as a first semester student, you should actually achieve this outcome. You should already have your research objective, your writing of your literature review, and so on. You put the outcome, okay? Qualifying exam, that's very important. Must apply to take qualifying exam. In others, they have required to take them by the end of the second year. So like our proposal presentation might be, okay? So cut them earlier. If during proposal presentation you cannot see the work of PhD, better terminate them. Student, better terminate them. Instead of you ask them to stay longer in the system. Okay? Last year, I advised 3 of my students to withdraw from the study. It's true. That's the reality. Because I have a session, okay, I informed these students saying that you did not have any progress. How come I'm going to help you? You are in the 5th years of study. I can't see the data yet. I think you need to take a rest. Take a rest first. They are part-time student. Think about it. Okay, focus for your family first, and later on, if you think that you want to continue back with me, I'm willing to supervise you back. They need a break. Okay, postgraduate is flexible. Okay, you can see it. Some students they keep meet you but nothing, betul? Tak ada bawa apa-apa, asyik bawa buah-buahan je. It's true. Nothing in terms of writing. No new articles. No new writing. Tak ada apa. Without writing, how come you can proceed? Betul? So you need to advise these students. Take a break. Take a break. Last year, 3 of my students, I advised them wisely. I said that I cannot see your progress. You are not wasting my time. You are wasting my time. You are also wasting your money. Okay, you need a break. Take a break, take a rest, and after that, if you think that you are ready, then proceed again with me. I have no problem to supervise you back. Okay, this is where you have to detect it earlier. The terminal master degree is given to students who have not made satisfactory progress in the first 2 or 3 years. For PhD studies in UTM, we during Viva, if their Viva is not actually fulfill the PhD research, we actually award them lower degree. Kan? But then if you want it, yeah, it might be you when the second year of study, you can see the research, you can see it. This is not a PhD work. This is a master degree work. Why not advise them just downgrade it to masters and go for Viva for masters? At least they get their second masters. Or for fast track students, they will get their masters. Okay, and so on. This is a strategy that have been implemented around the world. Mentor. Students work with their primary mentor to develop a timeline towards completion. Mentor can be not you as a supervisor, a senior PhD student who have a very good skill in research. That's supposed to be the mentor. Okay, not you. Sometimes you don't have time, isn't it? As an admin like me, I don't have time. I have one mentor. In my group of research, I have few students who are really good. Okay, this is a mentor for research methodology. I train them very well. I say, okay, you need to train my other student. So that's why if I have a new student, I say that, okay, please go to see my student, this one, to learn about this methodology. I don't have time to train you. Okay, so this is where you have to create mentor. Okay, if you have graduate student association, they can also be a mentor. They have to identify those who are good as a mentor. Annual plan, student complete a written and annual plan that is shared with their primary mentor. So they have, every semester they must have their plan. Okay, don't just let it be loose supervision now. Datang je you supervise, tak datang je you tak supervise. Memang out. And it must be structured. Okay, at least annually to discuss the student development plan. Some program hold this meeting on a semi-annual basis. Give talk. Student give a 4th year talk on their research as a milestone between the qualifying exam and the completion of dissertation. And this is some university in Thailand, in UTM kita baru nak request polisi ni, Okay, petang ni saya nak present kat TNCA. Okay, it's quite aggressive. Student must petition the executive committee for an extension to remain in the program beyond 4 years. Maksudnya bila kita bagi offer letters, we only give them 4 years duration of study. If you want to stay longer, you need to fight for it. You need to request for extension. In Thailand, dia orang buat macam tu. So dia bagi duration 4 years je. Masuk 5th years of study, you need to present why you need stay longer into the system. Bukannya automatically dapat terus 7 tahun, 8 tahun, betul? Ni UTHM berapa tahun maksimum? 7, 7 years kan? Bukan terus dapat 7 years. Bila dapat 7 years, dia akan kata, oh lambat lagi ni. 7 years. Okay? So not all will pass this request. Okay. Petang ni saya nak suggest kat TNCA saya. Saya rasa TNCA saya agree kot. Okay. But much work, memang banyak kerja sikit, kan? Tapi to remind them, they only have 4 years. Okay. So this is where you can look into it. Okay, this is an institutional practices, institutional best practices. Tips for GOT, okay, for student. This is what you need to tell your student. Okay. First, PhD writing is very, very important. If you receive student who cannot write, send them for short course. If you have your research grant, this is where you need to invest. Saya send my student to writing punya course. Okay, tapi dengan syarat they must have their early writing lah. They already have part of writing, then pergi kursus. I paid using my research grant. Balik daripada tu, if they can't write, then you better fill in withdrawal letter lah. Withdraw from the study. So you need to train your student. Immerse yourself in writing. That's why first semester, they need to prepare at least conference paper. You need to train them to write. Okay, don't wait till you have finding and then you say, okay, now you have to write a paper. No, a concept paper, anything, an overview of the research, you have to. Okay. Find a strong mentor among peers. That's very important. Ask the student to find a strong mentor. Accept feedback as constructive criticism. Find the right supervisor. That's very important. In UTM, we label the supervisor. Nanti saya show the system. This is 5-star supervisor. You can supervise up to 15 students. This is 2-star supervisor. Any student sponsored by government, we're not going to send to that supervisor. And the supervisor also know his or her performance. Reality, we have to face it. Okay? Direct any courses taken towards your research need. Plan for it, the courses, and narrow your thesis scope. That's very important. Don't do research yang to solve the world problem. You cannot solve the world problem, isn't it? And the next one is that, another one for students, this is where you need to tell the student. In UTM, in certain times, it's really hard for us to tackle supervisor, we tackle student. We tackle student. But sometimes it's difficult to tackle supervisor. It happened in UTM, we set a meeting and we set a talk, supervisor tak datang pun. Kan? But then we tackle the student. When we tackle the student, we ask the student how to tackle the supervisor. Okay. Okay. Perseverance and finishing the thesis, that's very important. Have a checklist. Ask the student to have a checklist. Find a strong quality research colleague. This is very important. And this is very important. Ask them to find it. Promote your work and talk to others. Set the platform where the student can talk among each other. Don't compare and follow your path. Ask the student, don't compare. Follow your path, follow your plan. Don't ever compare with others. Okay? Take care of your health, mental versus physical. It's true. That's very important. Okay. Every time my student, if they came to see me for a meeting, I say, you can bring food, but I only going to eat fruit. Don't bring me high calorie food. That is what I'm going to inform to them. Okay. Okay. This is what you have to tell the students. Staying healthy. Not only for the student, isn't it? For the supervisor also. Enough sleep, exercise, and eat well. Okay? That's why in UTM, we set a talk, kita panggil nutritionist, talk to the student, what to eat in the morning, what to eat during lunch, how many hours that you need to sleep, because that is very important. Sometimes kita rasa that one is not important, isn't it? But it's very important as a PhD student. How many hours that you need to exercise a week. We tell the student how to dress well during event. Kita panggil personality tau, to change our student. How to stand, how to talk, because they're not going to learn it in their lab, isn't it? About that. Supervisor pun tak ajar betul. So we need to transform them to be professional. Yang tu graduate school buat, Prof. Patutnya graduate school buat benda-benda macam tu je. Lain-lain fakulti buat. Okay, then we tell the students, this is not, the real path for PhD is not like this. Okay, sorry. It's not like this, tapi the real path is actually like the one that you feel. Reality, that has happened. Okay, that has happened in doing a PhD. And be strong. Okay, be strong. And this is the checklist I give it to my students. Okay, whether you are done with your analysis part, write journal articles, defend, propose a proposal, pilot study, collect data, analysis, write and defend. So this is the checklist. You need to have this checklist, okay, on your in your room. When you check one of it, you achieve your KPI. This is what I tell the student. Okay, so this is the agreement that you need between you and the student. And this is my sharing for all UTM students about publication. When to publish. Some students, they did not know when to publish throughout the thesis duration. Okay, how to publish articles from PhD thesis, where to publish and how to publish. So if they're in the first semester, they should able to publish concept paper. Why do they need to publish concept paper? To tell the world that this is my research area. To grab that research area. What happened in UTM is a real case. It's a real case. There are two students. One student, dia memang publish. The other student ni dia tak nak publish. And they are doing a research closely, macam close punya research area lah. Okay. So this student yang tak publish ni memang dia start this research earlier than this student yang publish. What happened is that when they talk among them, this student ni publish. So present in a journal, in conference, okay, and in a conference proceeding. And suddenly, okay, when the student yang mula-mula start this research, okay, present proposal, examiner say that, oh, your research looks similar with the A student. No, I start this research earlier than that, than him, but then I did not publish. But he's the one who published it. So that's why you have to tell your student, to tell the world, to share that you already grabbed the research scope. That's why you need to ask your student to publish as a concept paper. If not, other student will publish it. And you are no longer going to be the pioneer in that area. That's why you need to tell the student. Conference paper, okay, a concept paper, so you can publish as a conference paper, literature review can publish, theoretical analysis also can be published as a conference paper. Theoretical analysis, you are comparing types of theoretical analysis, you are doing it, you are analyzing might be 60 different theories and some you summarize it into your theoretical framework. Then it can be a paper, that's contribution, okay. And systematic review can be a book chapters, journals, articles. Research finding, you have might be 1 or 2, 4 research finding. Each research finding you can publish in a journal article. The first research finding, published in the first journal article. The second research finding, published in the second article, and so on. And at the end, the whole thesis, you publish in the Q1 journal. The whole thesis as a journal article, challenge your student to publish in Q1 journals and use your experience as an expert in that area how to publish a Q1 paper journal. So all of my PhD students, they went through this path. All of my PhD students, at the end of their PhD journey, they must publish at least one Q1 journal paper. When you publish this Q1 journal paper at the end of it, you might be going to cite yourself, isn't it? From the conference paper, from the book chapter, this is where you have your self-citation, isn't it? This is what the path that you have to tell your students. And it's very important as part of it when your student attend the Viva, at the back of the thesis, the student should put list of paper published throughout the study. And usually the examiner, they start to look into it. Oh, you already published 9 papers. So this thesis must be good. Okay? But remember, sometimes jangan terlalu immerse also in writing. In UTM, we have one case. This student published up to 18 cumulative impact factor. 25 papers, but failed PhD. Yes. Because sometimes you have to realize that when you start to publish certain part of your thesis as one article, and suddenly when you put it together, they cannot sit. They cannot sit among each other. That's why you can fail PhD. We have in UTM several cases, 18 cumulative impact factor, but fail PhD. As a supervisor, you need to be aware on that also. That's why you have to see the thesis as a whole, then baru you changkan to be published as a paper. Don't see the thesis as chang. And then at the end, you put it together. Might be they cannot sit together. Okay, that's why in UTM we have few students fail, and this is what we remind our supervisors to look into it. Okay, the problems that we face the role of supervisor is the mismatch. This is what happened, the mismatch. The supervisor expects the student to be independent and possess an intellectual capability suitable to that of research candidate as a postgraduate level. And the candidates were dependent on their supervisor and required important decision making to be done by the supervisor. This is a mismatch. You expect the student to be independent and suddenly the student depends on you. Okay, what happened? Mismatch. Okay, you cannot go anywhere. Okay, that's why you need to identify your supervisory style. In UTM, we collected the data. All of the supervisors in UTM, we know that they belong to which category. You are dominant in which category. Nothing wrong with either one of these category. Everything is good. The good one is that as a supervisor, we have everything. So the first one, what we call it a pastoral style, low structure, high support. Second one is directional style, high structure, low support. I will explain more. Contractual style, high structure, high support. Laissez-faire style, low structure, low support. So it depends on the student. So sometimes you receive a student, you need to act like this one. Sometimes you receive certain student, you need to act as number 4 and so on. So there is a quadrant to differentiate it. In UTM, we collect this data because in UTM, to supervise a PhD student as a main supervisor, you must have a certificate. Mesti ada certificate. Certificate, graduate supervision certificate. We make it compulsory for those graduated, for supervisor graduated PhD after 1st March 2013. Why is we are doing using that date? That is the date where the MQA released the PG standard. Okay, so those who actually graduated PhD in UTM after 1st March of 2013, they must attend short courses, 3 level of courses. Then after that, they get the certificate. I will show you later on. It's a compulsory. I brought the concept to the Senate meeting and the Senate endorsed it. How do you tackle it properly? Because you know that in university, like in UTHM, you have a senior supervisor, you have quite moderate and in the middle age of supervisor and young supervisor. They are good also. In UTM, we have 500 PhD holder at the age of below 35. That's good for UTM. Okay, we are those who actually, we have that below 35 years old supervisor. They are very good, all of them. So they are energetic. They want PhD student. They want to publish paper. They are our engine actually for RU because they are publish paper more than us. Okay? So this is where we start to enforce quality on supervision. We need to train them. Might be they have less experience, but they have more knowledge and they have more energy. Okay? So that's why we agreed that we're going to have this certificate. How do we tackle senior supervisor? I also have a colleague who have been senior supervisor at the age of 55. But based on the track record, there are no student graduated from his supervision, PhD supervision, but he's professor. Don't compare it, don't argue it. During his time, professor, you do not need to have PhD student graduated. Don't argue. That is what the assessment at that time. So what we did is that, for those who have already associate professor, but did not have a track record, PhD student graduated under his or her supervision, they need to sit in for only one course. We call it refreshment. Okay? And will be delivered by senior professor. Professor A lah, to deliver it. And after that, they can be the main supervisor. Okay? So this is how we tackle it. For those who actually really just joined UTM as a senior lecturer, they have to sit for level 1, level 2, level 3. After 2 years, then they can be the main supervisor. So we're done with that because we introduced this concept in 2016. Right now, most of our young supervisors, they already have the certificate. Only about 20 or 30 young supervisors did not have a certificate yet because they just joined it. 2018 they joined us, 2017 they joined us. So they need to answer this questionnaire. Where are they? Okay, they are good in what? Nothing wrong with each quadrant, but you have to know that if you belong to this, low structure and high support, you will receive this is suitable for student has personal low management skill, but take advantage of the support facilities that are offered. And what the supervisor need to do is that supervisor provide considerable personal care and support, but not necessary in a task-driven directive capacity. So this is where you need to have these 4 skills, where to put your student. Okay? So whether you are which style, it depends. So we collect this data and we analyze it in UTM. Our supervisor belong to which category. And this is where you need to move. And sometimes you need to move from phase 1, and when you receive that student, when you receive the student, you need to move from phase 1 to phase 2, okay? Okay, and now you move it to phase 3, and you need to change the style of supervision. And of course, motivation is very important, okay, for it. And you have to help student to prepare the journey. Tell the student, this is the journey. Set up the supportive research environment, prepare researcher mindset, help identifying interesting, suitable research topic, okay? Coach for deep critical comprehension, help plan for GOT. In UTM, we allow the faculty to have any activities that they have. There's one faculty in UTM, Faculty of Education. They conduct activities, what we call it, something like team building activities. They actually invite all the PhD students pergi mendaki Gunung Arung. You pergi kan dulu? You pergi tak? Suhaizal? Okay. Mendaki Gunung Arung, so all PhD student do with supervisor, saya tak pergilah. Okay. Mendaki Gunung Arung. So they learn something along the way. Physically, they have to be fit. If they are not fit, they are not going to achieve the top level of it. So that's one activity. Beside we actually asking our student to go to lab, do research and so on. Benda-benda tu perlu ada. Okay. And successful timely completion of PhD. This is what the journey that you need to ask your student to prepare on it. And of course, as I did mention before, for supervising for GOT is not only for supervisors and students. You have to look at the facility also. First, of course, for the student, send them for training. If you look at your student did not know how to analyzing the data, send them for training. Okay? Capabilities, personality, skill and knowledge, send them for training. Okay? Or it might be your school or your faculty or graduate school have short courses on it. Why not? And in UTM, every PhD student have to sit in 9 courses. I will show you what that 9 courses. Compulsory, free, support by the graduate school, but conducted by the faculty, not us. We cannot conduct it at the central level. Supervisor, you need to learn, unlearn and relearn. Please, that's very important. Okay, I graduated my PhD in 2002. Okay, I believe I still need to learn new methods. Some of the methods that I learned in 2002 is not relevant anymore. So I need to know that there are so many new research design. I need to learn, unlearn and relearn also as a supervisor. I'm not going to ask my student to refer my thesis. I said, don't refer my thesis 2002. That is outdated. Refer the current one. Okay. Facility, lab equipment set up through research grant. If you have your research grant, set up your lab, buy it and build your empire. This is what, if you are not academician, if you're not an admin, if you're not been appointed as head of departments or dean or deputy dean, I think you have a very fruitful time to set up your empire in research. You look at us in the top management, we don't have time and we miss them a lot. We want that time, okay, to build our empire back, doing research through your research grant. That's why you need a grant. If you don't have grant, you cannot send your student for training. You also cannot send yourself for training. And you also cannot set your lab and facilities and everything that will assist your research. And remember, as a supervisor, every student is different. It's not a one-size-fits-all, and every student is going to be different and work with the individual students and train them and motivate them. And it's okay that student comes and goes. Sometimes you already supervise the student up to the 2nd semester, and suddenly the student want to change supervisor. I'm very open. For me, I'm very open. I say, yeah, you can change it to a new supervisor. Might be you cannot work with me. You can work with others. Because student come and goes. If you're a good supervisor, more students will come to you. So don't worry about it. Okay? But if you're not good supervisor, no student want to be supervised under you. Nobody want you. Okay? I still remember when I've been appointed as a Dean of School of Graduate Study in 2013, there is one professor came to my room. He said, Prof, I need to meet you 10 minutes. Okay, just come, I said. Okay. He said that to me that, Prof, I think there's a special agenda in my faculty. Nobody want to give me student. This professor said that. I don't have PhD student, Prof. You have to solve this problem. They actually blocked me. They did not want to give me a new student. My answer is just simple. Prof, have a seat for 5 minutes. Let me look at your track record. I have to be realistic. So I just opened through the system the track record that we have. Prof, based on my record, you don't have PhD student graduated under your supervision. You already have 5 students, but all of them is actually exceed the GOT time. So have you ever asked yourself about this? Then he just kept quiet. He said that, okay, Prof, now I have to think back. Yes. Another thing that you have to show that when you conduct undergraduate and master top course classes, that is where the students try to spot you, isn't it? Whether you are going to be a good supervisor or not. If you handle a master course classes, then you are so straight, you never show a body language that you want to assist the student, nobody want to study under your supervision. You need to be friendly with the student. You need to build your CV with full of publication. Student will come to you. around the world student will come to you because of your CV, because of people tell others that you are good. You are the one who really assists you and so on. So that's why it's very important. So if you don't have student, don't blame graduate school. Ask yourself. Look at and do reflections towards it. So this is actually the journey. I share some of the journey based on my experience after graduating 20 PhD students. Okay, I have a different journey for my different students. Okay, you can have this journey for GOT, journey number 1. Okay, this is a real case talk, the real case that I put the study plan of my student. So prior to admission, might be the student already have the research gap, already have the scope of the research. Might be he or she was your master student before this. Then that's why in the first 6 months of the study, it's quite easy just conducting a meta-analysis on the theories and continue conducting a pilot study. The proposal is ready for presentation in 3rd semester. Data collection has been done early in the 3rd semester. And then of course, the writing of the whole thesis done by the 5th semester, and the student attend Viva at the end of 6th semester. I have one student who went through this journey. So if you have this, you have less monitoring, less shouting, less reminding. The student is very, very good. If you have this student, 20 student pun saya sanggup supervise. If you have this kind of student, okay? Journey number 2. It happened also to my other students. Okay, you have this journey. Okay, prior to the admission, they already have the research scope, might be part of preliminary investigation. 30% the research have been experienced before this, might be academician kot kalau join you. So you can see that still by 6th semester boleh habis. You can see that producing a journal paper as early as 5th semester, a proofread thesis. I remember proofread thesis is very, very important. It's not the job of supervisor. Saya dah tak proof thesis, saya terus terang saya cakap. That's why I need grant. I need grant. When I have grant, I can pay a proofread of my PhD student thesis. I spend a lot. Even though my student is good in English, I will send to the native speaker. Okay, native speaker in UK, saya memang ada specific proofreader saya. Yang memang saya ada from UK. So saya memang send, I pay 2,500, 2,800 for this student. Because I want the student to get A during Viva. Because writing is very important. Some people say that, oh no, it's okay. Examiner akan semak. No, examiner right now is very straight. Because of the writing, the student can fall into D, can fall into E. Please, examiner is not a proofreader. Not anymore. Some supervisor, they never read the thesis. If you can't read the thesis, you don't have time, okay? You're not capable to read the thesis, send for proofread. Send for proofread. So that somebody will read the thesis. Okay? Although you send it to proofreader also, as before your student Viva, you mesti pernah baca thesis dia. Kalau you tak pernah baca thesis dia, you don't ever expect examiner to read the thesis. Saya duduk kat graduate school hampir dekat daripada 2009. Saya tengok sendiri pelajar menangis bila dia fail. And due to because of sometimes supervisor just sign the thesis. Dia sign je thesis. Okay, pergi Viva tak apa. Nanti kan you berperang lah masa Viva. No, that's not right. Pernah berlaku kat saya, in front of saya, international student dapat E. The methods salah. Saya kalau method salah, theoretical framework salah, saya salahkan supervisor. Because as a supervisor, you are expert. Tak nampak ke benda tu salah? You should able to advise your student, isn't it? Kalau benda tu salah. Method salah, theoretical framework salah. I'm okay if the writing is out. Sometimes kita supervisor pun tak mampu kan nak assist our student in writing. But then if method out, theoretical framework out, I blame the supervisor. Because you did not actually advise your student very well. You never read the core of the thesis. Okay? And what happened in front of me, the students actually point the finger to the supervisor. follow what my supervisor asked me to do in front of examiner. I follow everything. He's expert in this area. He's associate professor in this area. But then the examiner said, no, this is wrong. So kalau saya jadi supervisor, tak tahu nak letak muka mana to that student. It's quite pity. Sometimes you receive international student, they need that PhD degree to continue their life over there as an academician or what. And suddenly they fail under your supervision. So it's really pity. I experience that a lot in the graduate school, and this is make me sad sometimes. And I actually, we in UTM, is something wrong because of the supervisor. If we go court because of the supervisor, I'm going to, actually I will inform my Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Prof, we need to do something. We need to call the supervisor. We need to arrest the supervisor from receive any new student. Kami banyak block sekarang ni. Supervisor yang memang out, we rest them for a while. No new student. No new student, no marks for your SKT. Terpaksa, because that is the responsibility of the supervisor. So this is a journey. Then you have Viva after 6 semester. You still can have GOT. The less monitoring but keep motivating. You need to motivate the student. Yes, if your PhD student continue the same research scope from his or her master. Journey number 3, not so GOT, but you can still achieve GOT. Okay, this is where I think most of my brain recipient is actually in this stage. Okay, apply for my brain because tak dapat kerja. Okay, and have a draft of proposal. It's not the real proposal. It's just an idea what to do a research. So draft of PhD proposal for admission process, but along the way, baru nak start looking into it. Yeah, you can have that kind of journey also, but keep monitoring, reminding and motivating. Okay, and this happen when your student pursue his or her PhD without clear focus on the research. Required student tremendous effort. You have to tell your student tau, kalau dia macam ni, you need more effort. You only have 30 days per year holiday. Okay, when you want to take a break, you need to inform me. Nak balik hari raya, Tahun Baru Cina, you need to inform me. Because you are full-time student, my brain recipient, I can call you anytime. Saya memang cakap dengan student saya, I call you anytime when I want. Because you are full-time student. You are here. Unless you tell me that you are at kampung, cuti and so on. Ada student saya rupanya dah grad, baru dia story dengan saya, Prof, masa Prof call saya dah naik bas nak balik Penang. Tapi dia kata, saya turun bas tu, saya balik pergi jumpa Prof. Sebab dia tak beritahu saya dia cuti. Saya kata, you tak beritahu saya cuti. Kan? Jadi, that is the way. That's why I beritahu student, you full-time student, you want to leave, ask me first. I have Chinese student, Chinese New Year, nak balik Sarawak. Dia cakap, Prof, I need a leave about 10 days. Okay, 10 hari saya tak kacau. But after that 10 days, on call. Because kita dekan ni, Prof, mana ada masa kan? Sometimes your meeting cancel, then I sit down, meeting cancel, what to do? Oh, I need to call the student nak tengok. Then, if the student is full time, they must come. Okay, you kena beritahu your student is like that. They be alert lah on it. And jadi number 4, so close to GOT also. Okay, this is actually memang the student quite slow. You need to monitor them very well. After the semester 8. Barulah dia buat writing of the thesis and might be viva in semester 8. Keep monitoring, reminding, supporting, motivating. Ni semua kena pantau dan sebagainya lah to look into it. So you can have this if the student pursue his or PhD without clear focus on the research, not quite critical in reading, have problem in writing. Yeah. There are some students, they have problem in writing. That's why writing ni, first semester lagi you have to ask your student to write. Baru you nampak dia teruk atau okeynya writing. You cannot polish writing in 6 months. You need to polish writing about 2 years. That's why the first thing, okay, first criteria that I will select you to do PhD under me, you need to write 2 pages of any scope, research scope. Saya memang nak writing. Dan saya tak minta buat dekat rumah email saya. Buat sekarang ni depan saya. 1 hour, write me 1 page of paper. I would like to know your writing skill. Ada yang bagus, ada yang tak bagus. Tak apa, it's okay. Bila dia tak bagus, now I know when to send this student. Okay, I need more efforts towards this student. Okay, this is what. Benda yang kita kena lihat. You have time, don't worry about time. We have time. Time ada, jangan risau. Okay, this is the ecosystem that we have in UTM. Okay, when I've been set as a dean of graduate school, so I need to have this ecosystem. Okay, I need to ask the university. Okay, the first one is that I need to ask my TNCA to have this. First, we have the supervision support. We have the group supervision. We had the graduate supervision certificate, as I remember that. The progress report, the mock-up viva. We want the faculty to conduct a mock-up viva. Okay, then we just monitor it. Okay, before the student go for viva, we ask them to have a mock-up viva. Our system, recreation and non-academic activities, we believe that the student need leisure also. So we ask the sport center to have this kind of recreation. Scholarship under us, we try to find as many financial assistance as we have, and research development support, because we are RU, we are quite lucky because every student actually has been assigned under research group. In UTM, every PhD student is under research group. And we have the head of research group. So besides supervisor, dia ada research group. Head of research group punya group ni lah. So the head of research group is actually penilai pertama ketiga saya. Dia menilai saya lah on performance of research. So my student need to attend that session. So this head of research group inculcate the culture of research among the student, not only supervisor. That's why you need to create this ecosystem. If not, you cannot produce a PhD student and increase GOT. And this is in detail that we have. Okay, what do we have under it? The scholarship, the recreation activities, and as a graduate school, I contact a sports center to have a competition. Please have this competition among international students and local students so that they can release a little bit on their pressure and stress in study. So this is research development support, the what you call it, the campus facility, the library, the workstation. So you need to manage this first. This is what I did in 2013 to set up the ecosystem first, to make everything is on place, so that when we receive student, we know that we already have that. So it's up to the student whether they want to join it or not. And we introduced another one where I call it support program. It's actually professional development program for graduate students at UTM. So at first in 2014, this is done under the Graduate Student Association. It's not done by us. We call it in UTM Postgraduate Student Society, PGSS. So Postgraduate Student Society, we give them budget, they can conduct any activities that they want. At first in 2014, we allowed them to have any activities. We never structure it. We say that you can have any activities, but we analyze it. Or we can see that more on writing skill, more on communication skill. It's okay. We allow that. We give budget. But in 2015, we make it structured. We make it structured like this. In 2015, we say that this is the courses that you will have to sit in the first semester, the second, the third, fourth, 5, 6, and this is your percentage that you need to concentrate. Okay, so this is what we give it to the student. And for supervisor, this is what the training that we give to the student. Graduate Supervision Certificate, they have Academic Supervision 101, 102, 103, and for me, kind of experienced supervisor, I need to sit in for 04, which is actually Academic Supervision 201, Experienced Supervisor Training, Refreshment. Okay, I also need to sit in. So if the lecturer done with this AS 101 and 102 and 103, then they can be listed in our register. So this is where, as I did mention, we monitor the performance of supervisor through supervisor registry system. Okay, so we can know that when is the date that this supervisor get a PhD, the status is eligible, so meaning that I already have the certificate. How many PhD graduated under my main supervision, co-supervision, masters and so on? And how many students are still in the pipeline? I still have 17 students in my pipeline. I no longer supervise master student. I already informed the faculty that gave to the young supervisor to supervise master student. I don't have a master student. I have all PhD students, 17 students, 11 as a main supervisor, okay, and 6 as a co-supervisor. In UTM, we have a rules of regulations. The maximum number that you can supervise a student should be, as an academic admin like me, I should supervise only 5. But the student is already with me. Okay, it's already with me when I've been appointed as a dean. So you know that some of them in 6th semester, 4th semester, and I have the rest of it. So this is a system that I will refer if the supervisor keep complaining, saying that they don't have a new student. Because you can keep track on their performance here. Okay, so this system, then as a new supervisor, they need to attend these courses. Okay, AS 101, this is the 3 courses, 6 hours. This is the content of the courses, 6 hours. AS 102, 15 hours with all this topic. And AS 103 is mentoring. Mentoring between the senior supervisor and new supervisor. They have to find their mentor, okay, and then they supervise that student together with that mentor. There will be a 3 session where the new supervisor will supervise the student in front of the mentor. No right, no wrong, meaning that we say that to we brief the mentor very well. We inform the mentor that don't ever criticize the new supervisor in front of student. Criticize after the session, okay, because it's a learning process. We believe it is a learning process. We call it an assessment, but it's a learning process. So far so good, the acceptance among the young lecturer is very positive. So that's why we're proud to announce that in UTM, I can assume it's a 96% of our supervisor have a certificate to supervise PhD student. Okay, this is very important though, bila you kena saman. Okay, one thing that the students sue you, they say that I received incompetent supervisor. So as an institution, how do you prove in the court that you already provide competent supervisor? So, inilah the record. This is the record of this supervisor. Went through all the training. Already have a track record graduating few numbers of PhD students. So, I believe the supervisor is competent. Isn't it? So, that's why we need this database. Okay, we introduced this database in 2015 when we received quite numbers of summons in 2013 and 2014. So that's why. So I think that's all my sharing. I open for questions. Okay, I acknowledge some of my friends who helped me in preparing the slide. Any questions, any comments, you can actually ask. Okay, any sharing experience ke? It's not easy to supervise PhD students. It's not easy. Okay, but one of my advice is that if you supervise a PhD student, make sure you prepare in detail the record of the students, including all the message in SMS, WhatsApp, email, and so on. Because something goes wrong at the end of the process, they will backfire you. Saya nampak banyak sangat student mula-mula memang ngam dengan supervisor tu. Bila dia fail saja, dia akan cari salah supervisor. So you have to prepare everything, the report. So if you don't have that kind of documents, at the end you will lose in the court. University pun tak boleh tolong you. So that's why you kena simpan. For example, let's say the student claim, this supervisor, when I set an appointment, he never allocate time for me. I email him, no answer, no reply, no WhatsApp reply. And then you have to prepare everything. If you reply, you have to save all that. Because at the end of the process, I can see that many students, when they fail, they backfire you back. You have to protect yourself also. Okay. Betul Quite scary nowadays, supervising a PhD students. Okay, you can be a friend with them, but later on, if they fail, dia yang akan sue you. And so on. So be careful on it lah. Do it properly and keep a record lah, and do it professionally. Itu saja. Bagi saya, do it professionally. Saya ada satu case yang saya tengok dia simple, mak be di supervisor anggap dia macam adik-beradik. Okay? So dia claim dalam surat court tu, dia kata supervisor tak supervise saya, tiap-tiap hari ajak saya pergi Jasko tolak troli. You might be anggap dia sebagai sisters kan, or brothers, betul? But they put it in that statement in the court. Tolak troli, beli grocery, jaga anak dia. Kan? It's true. So be careful on it. You can be friend with students, but be careful on it. And later on, any cases, it will drag you to the court. Ikhlas. Saya beritahu So nak cakap apa dekat court? Because you know what happened? When they actually start to summon you or sue you, they have someone expert who's going to advise this student, which is the lawyer. Because kalau dia menang, lawyer dapat percentage, betul? So this lawyer will assist this student. What they try to ask, okay, what is the story of you with your supervisor? Anything that your supervisor asks you to do out of the academic work. Dia dah start lah. Ya, saya kena bersih rumah dia masa dia pindah rumah. Okay, we put it as a statement. Very good. And so on. Sedangkan masa tu, kita minta tolong, betul? So be careful. Be careful. Do it properly. Nowadays, it's actually a very open world. As a faculty, those who involved in managing a postgraduate prof, the very important part is standard operating procedure, SOP. If you state in your SOP that supervisor will be given 2 weeks to read the thesis every time the student send the writing, and if the supervisor exceed that duration, you can be sued because you already put in your SOP. Like that. Okay. Saya share satu story yang ekstrim di one of university in Malaysia. This dean of the graduate school called me. Okay, these students, dia dah graduan from one of university in Malaysia. Local student, graduan. So after 1 year graduan, so ada komplain dari luar mengatakan thesis itu plagiarized from this thesis from overseas. So this university memang terima komplain tu, memang marah lah, saya pun marah kalau student plagiarize kan. So this university analyze it and look into it, yes, memang dia plagiarize. And call the student, the graduate lah, call the graduate and inform him that saying that you plagiarize. Yes, saya plagiarize. Dia cakap, saya plagiarize from that thesis. And then lagilah marah this graduate school kan. This graduate school prepare one paper, brought to Senate meeting, and the Senate decide to take back the PhD. Kan? Once the Senate release a letter that your PhD has been take back from me because of you plagiarize, this student sue the university. Dia bukan sue dia plagiarize, dia sue where is your rule of regulation can take back my PhD. Pergi court, universiti itu tak ada rules, kalah di court. So, dia kekal dengan PhD yang plagiarize. Can you see it? So that's why it's very important, the SOP, the procedure, be professional. I can be friend with student, but I need to be professional also. Okay? Tak apa, it's okay, balik-balik, bawa balik students, jamuan, apa, it's okay. But then, remember that there are certain things that you give to your student, they can do it because you paid. For example, kalau saya ada RO, okay, the RO, yes, it's really help me lah. The RO really help me sebab saya pay, kan? Kerja-kerja RO lah. Paid to help me to update my CV, all that. But not my PowerPoint. This PowerPoint I have to prepare by myself. I'm not going to ask my RO to do it because it's against of the RO punya works. But what I can do is that ask my RO to search on the information that I need. Kan? So be careful as an academician lah. That's my advice lah. Saya banyak tengok case sangat. Saya pun pernah pergi court, masuk kandang. Memang you rasa nak pergi court tak apa. Sorry you pergi court, you boleh menangis tau dekat court, lawyer tanya you. Sebelum you nak pergi court, your lawyer have to train you. Saya kena pergi court sebab bukan salah saya, salah fakulti. Tapi sebab saya Dean of Graduate School, it dragged me as a third name. And the first name Supervisor, second name Dean Fakulti, third name saya, fourth name VC, fifth name Kementerian. Semua kena tarik. 5 names. So saya pergi court. Sebelum pergi court, lawyer dah beritahu saya, Prof jangan cakap apa-apa. Prof diam saja. Okay, kalau dia tanya, Prof jawab rules saja. Prof jangan jawab apa-apa yang tentang rules. So saya jawab rules. Saya kata, the rules is there. We already uploaded in the website. Every student have to read the rules. It's not our responsibility to remind the rules. The rules is there. Saya jawab macam tu je. Dia cucuk-cucuk lah. And then they start to looking at your personal matter. Lawyer is very good. They start to looking at your personal matter, credibility of yourself. How many grant that you have? How many salah you buat? Pernah tak ada kes polis? You have been revealed everything in the court. That's why jangan pergi court lah. Saya pun but that's the case. But in UTM, if our technical part SOP is okay, usually I'm the one who check the technical. Bila datang je matters, so saya check technical. Saya memang panggil team, okay check. Okay, kita tengok technical satu daripada dia register sampai habis. Say, no, we don't have any problem on the technical. So I inform the lawyer, okay, check, we don't have any problem on the technical. The technical is okay. So we go to the court. We go to the court. Dia punya trend sih banyak go to the court. Baru-baru ada satu case, dia hired, dia fail PhD, dia hired lawyer kerabat Sultan Kelantan. Memang hebat lah kan. So we receive that news that it's a kerabat Sultan Kelantan. We said, okay, it's okay, lawyer from Raja ke apa nak cakap. We check the technical. We check the technical is okay. I say it to the university, I say it to the VC, Prof, safe, go to the court. Dia hantar surat situ saja. After 2 weeks, dia tak summon us, dia pun tak berani. Itu je. Tapi kalau dia summon lagi, berarti you ada masalah technical lah. Kami pernah kalah court sekali sebab memang masalah technical. Salah keluar surat, tu saja. So pelajar tu dapat masters. Surat dikeluarkan sebelum dia binding. Kata dia dah graduan. Sedangkan dia belum graduan. Kerani yang buat silap. Tapi universiti yang tanggung. That's why, very important. So, any question? Thank you. Yes.
But this year, these students still continue at that, but is rejected because of his time period is less than 2 years.
Yep, that's true.
Why?
He's actually in what semester? Third semester or fourth semester?
Now it's the second year, first semester.
Second year, first semester.
Yes.
It's going to be third semester.
Yes.
When we discuss with the scholarship divisions, you have to remember one thing. The return of investment for my brain is GOT. From my previous presentation, you can see the bad performance of GOT. Even bukan GOT saja, yang graduan pun we have a problem and high percentage of attrition rate. So, when we enforce GOT, we calculate the duration not based on 4 years. We calculate the duration of 3 years of sponsor and plus another 6 months for extension. My brain sekarang, they consider 3 years plus another 6 months for extension. So when we going to enforce GOT to the candidates, to the students, we must have enough time to enforce the GOT. So if the student will be sponsored 1.5 years, for PhD, like your student, third semester. So it's not fair for Kementerian to say that you must GOT. Okay? Because you have less time compared to those who have 24 months. Kan? Dalam agreement it said that 24 months. That 24 months counted from 3 years of sponsorship, not the GOT of 4 years. not the based on duration of study PhD in your university according to UTHM lah. So that's why we put it as 24 months. We believe that if the students still have 24 months, when they sign the agreement, GOT, so it's fair lah for them to say that you must finish within 3 years. Although we sponsored you 24 months. But if we sponsored this student only 1 year or 1.5 years, it's not fair for the government to say that you must GOT. That's why third semester and fourth semester not been sponsored. I know there are many arguments saying that during their time, my brain is not open. We are talking about sponsorship though. Sponsorship is something like, it's not a must for the student to receive it. It's a privilege for the student to receive it. Betul? Okay, so it's up to the government to open the scholarship. So it's not fair to say that in 2017 we don't have my brain. Yeah, we don't have my brain during that time. But when we open for 2018, okay, we wanted the return of investment because we promised APU on the GOT. That's why they released that 90 million. So if we did not promise it for GOT of 60%, EPU not going to pump in money that 90 million. And remember that 90 million, we need to spend it by this November 2018. It's just like word mengurus kan. Everybody yang pernah menguruskan word mengurus, you have, but word mengurus ni every year is a money that you need to spend that money in that year. Next year, to support this 10,600 recipient of my brain, another new 90 millions need to request by the government. I think it's more. Not going to be 90. It's going to be 150 millions. But that 90 million is actually 6 month punya sponsorship from July till December. So next year, from January to December, the government or EPU must provide Ministry of Higher Education 180 millions for this pelajar kanan yang dapat my brain. Yeah? So that's why the return of investment is very high. So that is the concept when we discuss it. Although the student can appeal, can send an appeal letter to the Ministry of Higher Education, as what I have been informed to the ministry, let us finish first the first phase of interview. It's about 5,080 kan saya cakap tadi. Well, we done first with this interview. And then the request from the student rayuan and so on, we're going to have a meeting. I already informed the ministry, collect all the rayuan. They need to send to the ministry lah, email or surat. Collect it. We're going to categorize this appeal lah, and then we're going to look into it. So might be we're going to have a second interview. This is what I have been informed to all. Okay, so I hope that we're going to have the second interview lah. Dan rasanya memang ada kot because we did not achieve our target. 5,080 interview. We believe might be 20% not going to pass the interview due to because the trend of the pattern. Saya pun tak tahulah hari ni saya harap UTHM okay. But comparing to the UTM pattern, ada yang tak hadir. When we call them, they say that I don't want to continue my study. So I say, why do you apply? Kan? Dia kata, at that time I thought that I want to continue. Now I don't want to continue my study, so I'm not going to come for the interview. You nampak tak? The mindset of Malaysian. It makes me worried tau. It makes me worried. 8.30 tak datang interview, kita call 8.45. Where are you? I'm waiting for my friend. Oh my God. This is a trend that if you are in the My Brain punya Facebook tau. Saya dalam My Brain punya Facebook, not the official My Brain tau. The student punya My Brain punya Facebook. Saya dalam tu. Saya dalam My Brain punya Facebook punya group, not the official one. The official one tu might be jaga-jaga sikit cakap kan. The student ni, they are very open. And suddenly, you boleh tengok the Malaysian punya thinking, oh memang out. Saya pun jadi takut. Contoh, they ask, why ministry tak beritahu nak pergi interview kena bawa semua CJ? Saya cakap kat situ, everybody goes for interview, they bring their original certificate. Betul? Nobody need to inform you. And suddenly quite sad juga, dia cakap, I never been in interview. This is the first time that I will attend interview. Kesian juga kan? So dia benda-benda macam ni yang saya rasa memang kesian lah. Saya dalam grup tu, saya explain, dia katalah macam-macam, mengapalah tak layak, mengapalah. Saya pun cakap, check back, you fall into which category. Dan dia pun tak tahu saya siapa lah kot. Dia panggil saya kakak ke, saya kata no problem lah. But that is what. Tapi your student can send a letter lah, boleh merayu. Memanglah banyak argument, saya tahu. Ada yang cakap mungkin yang semester 3 boleh JOT. Saya tahu, tapi we need to assess on it. Might be for the 3rd and 4th semester later on, before they can proceed, might be they have to send writing of part of the thesis untuk kita tengok. Yes.
Example, we ask the researcher, we update the equipment. Example, our equipment all is already old. Example, example like the UTHM, the equipment almost is old.
Yes.
Then how we can fight with the other country as well as we want to talk about our research is new, novel, how? That is a problem. This is something I wish Prof could fight to get the what that done into the research.
You are correct on that matter. We really fight to the Ministry of Higher Education, saying that you want us to GOT, but let pay a visit to our lab. Sometimes the equipment is really sad. Not only on the equipment, hostel also. In UTM, our hostel memang teruk. Kita tahu kan, tapi we don't have the money to develop it. Okay, this is where the top management of university has to be creative enough. Okay, what we did in UTM, okay, like for example, our hostel, kita baru cagarkan, minta company luar to maintain our hostel. We no longer have money to maintain our hostel, so we start to privatize our 2 hostel, company luar maintain, hotel datang untuk maintain, but of course charge more lah. Then we start to charge lah, kita dapat untung without loss bawah tu. So this is the creativity of the top management. But no doubt, we are academician, betul. We have not been trained to be a businessman, betul kan? Nobody has been trained, kan? Even our VC pun tak have been trained to be a businessman. We are academician, we should not be taught of this thing, kan? Sebab itu tadi yang saya beritahu, we need to start to empower our support staff. Okay, when you hire your assistant registrar, it's no longer an assistant registrar like before. It's assistant registrar with a mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, creativity and so on. Benda kena. Then we need to change our culture also. In the university, when we look at our assistant registrar cannot deliver, then kita pergi tolong, betul? And at the end of it, kita lah buat kerja assistant registrar tu. That's not right. So this is where the university have to change. If you look at the Australian university, you can see tau, bila saya pergi council meeting, when I went to several meeting under Australian Council, ACGR, Australian Council of Graduate Research, I can see that not all the graduate deans datang. Dia punya besar datang, dia punya pendaftar datang. And the pendaftar is very smart. Thinking dia macam lecturer. Tahu? Jadi kita kena transform. Nak transform tu memang susah lah, sebab budaya dah lama dalam universiti ni. Everything yang melibatkan thinking must be handled by lecturer. That's not right. In UTM, we realise that. That's why in this July, we're going to merge that faculty, and all the viva process will be handled by our assistant registrar, not by our pengurus akademik, which is actually academician. They need to write papers and do research. So we need to transform. Tapi for the 35,000 memang kita fight. They say simple word, we don't have money. Saya kesian jugalah kementerian. Tapi they try to fight for that lah. Okay. But we still have grant kan. Cuma grant tak encourage sangat to buy 35,000-nya tu. Sebenarnya kalau you terlibat dalam kewangan, you play a politic also in kewangan. I give you one example. When I manage a kewangan of my graduate school, I don't have any basic in financials punya management. I don't have, kan. Tapi saya learn from politics, saying that okay, they give you a word mengurus. Every year they give you a word mengurus. In my office, I have about 35 permanent staff. The other about 15 is contract staff. That contract staff is paid by my tabung. No, it's not by the university. Because I generate income, I pay it. So I can hire what I want. So this 35 staff, okay, I can see the trend of overtime memang sikit. The trend of overtime tak banyak because usually during peak session memang betul lah kita ada overtime and so on. And suddenly Bendahari pump in money pada pada 11,000, which is actually overtime. 11,000 dari katakan saya dapat 200,000, dia pump in money 50,000 kat situ. 11,000 kan, V11,000 untuk gaji kan, upah, gaji and upah. Dia pump in money 50,000 kat situ. Dia bagi saya 200,000. Tak boleh pindah. Saya tahu trend tu saya takkan habis that 50,000 at the end of December. I only going to spend might be 10,000. But 50,000 dia letak kat situ. You tahu kenapa dia letak kat situ? At the end, bila PM announce not bonus, they will get 40,000 from UTM, from my graduate school, to pay the bonus of 500 ringgit of my staff, 35 staff tadi. Betul? Can you see it? That's the way that you have to think about it. Sometimes you memang pump in money kat situ, you tahu orang tu habis. Because you can take that money back. Jadi, this is where, as a lecturer, never think about it. But that's the process. Kan? So, itulah the beauty about being an academician. I love it. Okay? So, any other question? Ya, silakan. Yang depan. Ya.
Saya tertarik berkenaan dengan profesional doktor yang from private clinic. Yang mana cuma peringkat ini saya nak pasti sejauh mana penerapan profesional doktor di dalam kerajaan. Kerana saya daripada fakulti pendidikan dan saya dapat permohonan banyak ataupun
Doctor of Education. Ya.
Kita dapat banyak runutan daripada guru yang mana dia nak mohon flat, slide ataupun SLE tak ada dalam sistem. Maknanya Doctor of Education itu tidak dalam senarai. Jadi mungkin di peringkat awalan ini, mungkin setidak-tidaknya mulakan dulu dengan my brain lah. Pada saya lah yang saya nampak, at least bila benda tu ada dalam map my brain, mungkin KPM akan see, ya, benda tu akan foresee dan saya nampak benda tu bagus untuk profesional doktor yang lain lah sebenarnya. Terima kasih Prof.
Dalam my brain memang kita sponsor Doctor of Education. We don't have any problem on it. In my brain kita sponsor. DBA pun kita sponsor my brain. Cuma DBA kita sponsor ada amount. So like for example usually DBA fees is up to 50,000. Memang mahal. But then we only sponsor 23,000. So dia dapat half lah. So my brain don't have any problem. We sponsor Doctor of Education. The problem here is that the mindset of the whole academician in Malaysia, which actually did not believe on professional doctorate. They thought that when you will graduated with Doctor of Education, Doctor of Engineering, this is a lower degree than Doctor of Philosophy. You tak faham. Sebenarnya the big umbrella is that doctoral program. That is the big umbrella. In that doctoral program, you have Doctor of Philosophy, you have professional doctorate, you have Doctor of Education, you have DBA, you have everything. All of that is actually level 8 in MQA. MQF, Malaysian Qualification Framework, is level 8. So, what we need to do is that, okay, if we as an academician did not believe towards this, kita tak offer, sebab itu kerajaan tak nampak. So that's why I encourage MTUN to offer professional doctorate. And I already put this professional doctorate dalam graduate education roadmap. That graduate education roadmap has been presented to the KPT and they accept it. MTUN should running professional doctorate. So we don't have any problem. Yang tak percaya kita ni lah semua ni. We are the one who yang tak trust about professional doctorate because you graduated with Doctor of Philosophy. One story that I would like to inform, I'm graduated with Doctor of Philosophy, okay? But I respect professional doctorate. In a European country, not Europe, no, in UK, professional doctorate is very established, Okay, not in European country. European country dia tak terima sangat professional doctorate, but in US, in Australia and UK, professional doctorate tu memang dah biasa. In Japan also biasa. Okay, one thing that you have to remember is that how to educate our people. Saya pergi a forum in UK, a doctoral education forum. It's very interesting forum. Okay, in that forum, people from the from Doctor of Philosophy say that, professional doctorate is not the same level with Doctor of Philosophy. They are a low level degree lah, dia cakap macam tu. So they say that if you will be if you have Doctor of Engineering, you cannot supervise student with Doctor of Philosophy. Dia cakap kan, if you are Doctor Engineering graduates, you cannot supervise Doctor of Philosophy students because your research is not up to the Doctor of Philosophy. And the professional doctorate group say that, you know what? If you graduated from Doctor of Philosophy, you are not qualified to supervise Doctor of Engineering student because you don't have the perspective of industry. Everybody keep quiet. I agree. Totally, I agree. I cannot supervise Doctor of a professional doctorate. I don't have any experience in industry. But I can supervise Doctor of Education because I was a teacher before this. So remember that industrial people, they cannot have a big research like Doctor of Philosophy untuk graduating on time. They need skills yang classes tu, up to maybe you design your classes, maybe 30% of it is classes, 70% is dissertation. They need that. That's the nature of it. So my brain don't have any problem with it, kementerian don't have any problem with it. Kementerian selalu cakap sebenarnya dengan saya, problemnya you all, Prof. It's not us. Kementerian selalu cakap dengan saya, Prof, sebenarnya problemnya adalah kawan-kawan you, not us. We are open for professional doctorate. University dia nak offer it. Betul lah. University tak nak offer sebab takut tu. So the best strategy to offer it, change everything. Change the thesis format. In UTM, we have 2 thesis format. This is Doctor of Philosophy, this is Doctor of Engineering. Change the evaluation form, we change the assessment form. This is assessment form for Doctor of Philosophy. This is assessment form for Doctor of Engineering. And this is assessment form for DBA. Sebab we don't want DBA to be Doctor of Philosophy. Let DBA be DBA. Okay? What happened to other RU? They want DBA to be counted a PhD student. They change DBA to be Doctor of Philosophy. UTM kita tak change. I ask my team that let DBA be DBA because you generate income. You not contribute to RU. Betul, DBA not counted as PhD graduates in RU. We are okay with that. As a Dean of Graduate School, I cakap dengan DBA group, we are okay with that. Let DBA be DBA. Maintain at 50-50. Kan, 50% dissertation, 50% courses. Because that's the nature of DBA. Don't because of you want it to be counted in RU, you change it to be 70 and 30. That's my principle in UTM. So they stay with 50-50, but not like others like UKM, they have it 70-30. Other university because they want it to be counted. Okay, to be RU. I said, no, you play your roles to generate income to UTM, not contributing to RU, but okay. Same goes to top course program, betul? In RU, it's not counted. Top course program. In UTM, we have quite numbers of top course program. But we want it because they're generating income. They generate income so good. Okay? But let others who are actually offering mixed mode and full research to contribute to RU. So that is the roles of a university. Okay? So that's why we don't have any problem of professional doctorate. Doktor, kita ni ada problem. Saya nak cakap kementerian cakap, you have a problem. MTUN did not want to offer it. Saya dah banyak kali cakap dengan 4 graduate deans of MTUN, present me the path. Yang headed by UTHM nanti dia akan present kot. Present me the path. We recognize you. We want to recognize you because you are MTUN. Don't be RU. Don't be so proud to be RU. You should be proud to be MTUN. Nothing wrong with MTUN. You have a special network. We have a special network which is actually MRAN, Malaysian Research University Network. So let it be as an MTUN. You have a special on it. More skill, upgrade more. Now you have your MBOT, betul? Nothing wrong. So let's respect each other. But how to educate people in Malaysia? Masa you thesis depan tu pun kena nampak lain. Masa hantar appointment letter pada examiner pun kena beritahu lain. This is Doctor of Engineering. This is what the expectation. Jadi examiner akan tukar mindset. Dan you kena appoint examiner yang betul Doctor of Engineering lah. Janganlah appoint examiner Doctor of Philosophy, mati belajar tu kena pancung. Kan? Sebab Doctor of Engineering punya thesis kalau you tengok sampai terlalu ekstrim di UK, some of professional doctorate dia tak buat thesis. Dia hantar portfolio je. Kita taklah ekstrim macam tu. Tapi I'm open. If we can follow the trend, why not? Di UK dia hantar portfolio je. Di US, some of the thesis dalam bentuk video je. Because they graduated with drama, punya PhD professional doctorate in creative and drama. Why do they need to publish paper in Q1 journal? So benda ni adalah kita sendiri. We are in Malaysia who make this thing difficult. Not kementerian. Saya kadang-kadang saya malu kalau saya jadi representative from graduate school. Kadang-kadang saya malu. Kementerian selalu cakap, Prof, sebenarnya problemnya you all. Betul, saya tahu kawan-kawan saya berproblem. So how do you educate it macam tu? Di UTM memang kita split. We don't have any problem of Doctor of Engineering. Kalau Viva, kita dah tahu dah. Ni Doctor of Engineering. So kalau examiner tu lebih-lebih, pengerusi pun dah cakap, no, this is Doctor of Engineering. Don't ask the theory. Ask the application. Ask the models. And the supervisor also must get ready to supervise Doctor of Engineering. If you graduated with Doctor of Philosophy, suddenly you supervise Doctor of Engineering student, you bawa ke Doctor of Philosophy, budak tu fail masa Viva. Berlaku di UTM. Berlaku di UTM. The student is actually doing a research PhD in Doctor of Engineering. This supervisor don't have any experience in industrial attachment and so on. So bawa kepada Doctor of Philosophy. The industrial examiner dah tembak lah. Where's the application? No application and so on. So you have to control everything lah. Benda tu. So kementerian okay, kita kena educate and I hope the MTUN can mempelopori. So kita tak fight. Yes. Should be PhD industry. You ambil lah semua scholarship tu. Betul. We don't want it. The Malaysian Research University. Cuma UTM memang kita dari dulu dah ada PhD industry. Even tak ada scholarship pun, PhD industry di UTM memang bayaran yuran dia macam tu lah. Memang mahal. 45,000. We don't have any problem on that. Okay. Any question? Yes. Okay, sila-sila paguh kalau nak tanya. Paguh can on mic kalau ada nak tanya. Okay, tak ada soalan ya? Okay, thank you. Tapi saya serius tau pasal MTUN tu, Professional Doctorate. I would like us to come up with our model Professional Doctorate from the MTUN perspective. Okay, yes.
Saya ingin bertanya berkenaan dengan pencapaian GOT di UTM lah. Boleh tak Prof sharekan sikit selepas pelaksanaan best practices tu dan sebelum, adakah berlaku peningkatan atau just flat je ke ataupun bagaimana kan?
Okay, this is our performance before we actually implement the what you call it, the postgraduate structured program dan juga certificate of supervisor. Our performance is about 25 to 35%. We started the postgraduate structured courses secara structured betul-betul, meaning that student have to attend these 9 courses, three courses in a year of study. First year 3, second year 3, the third year 3, started 2015. So we should actually collect dia punya hasil this year lah. But what we did last year, we analysed the data. Okay, we analysed data from 2 faculty. this is the students yang attended our structured courses. They have attended that 3 first courses masa first year of PhD study. And that courses is more to prepare them to present proposal. And UTM, we believe that it's a compulsory for PhD student to present proposal no later than 3rd semester. Kalau 3rd semester dia tak present now, semester 4 tu dia memang dapat tidak memuaskan. For master student, no later than 2nd semester. So bila kita tengok yang dah pergi kursus ni, structured courses ni, 90% of them already presented their proposal. 90% dah present proposal. Daripada poll yang kita nampak, about 10% tak present lagi lah. Okay, in 3rd semester. So we interview them. Okay, saya tak ada data, tapi semalam saya ada, sebab petang ni saya nak kena bentang dengan TNCA. Okay. We interview them also, ask them why they are able to present their proposal lah in 3rd semester. Sebab kita tak tahu, takut dia ni memang very smart student, very good student, supervisor good. It's not because of our PG structured courses too. So from the qualitative data, it shows that they say that courses really assist them to prepare the proposal, make them clear on what they need to do, define their research objective. That is the answer. So it makes us happy lah. Cuma untuk GOT kita tak measure lagi. Kita baru measure part tu. Sebab GOT sepatutnya bulan 9 nanti graduan tu. Sebab kita baru cukup 2015 kita buat. So 16, 17, 18. On structured courses yang kita buat structured. Untuk supervisor certificate, okay, supervisor certificate kita started in 2016. Okay. I can measure it using the number of complaint and summon lah, that we received. From 2000, kita ada satu case yang kita kalah tu pada 2015. Okay, so before we start the certificate, the graduate supervisor certificate, supervision certificate. So 2016 kita make it compulsory. Kita start and we look into it on the cases by student and the numbers of students who change supervisor, nampak dah sikit. Tapi saya tak tahu kesan dia disebabkan itu or not, because of that or not. Tapi we can see lah that the progress report by the student is quite positive, and young supervisor pun nampak macam lebih alert and know the process. Because during the short courses on graduate supervision certificate tu, we expose them on cases tau yang melibatkan saman, menyaman, tanggungjawab semua. Even we go through in detail thesis tu. You perasan tak thesis supervisor dia sign something? Saya dengan ini memperakukan thesis ini telah mencapai tahap PhD, thesis PhD, then you sign. Betul? Because you sign tu you pergi court. Betul? Bila you pergi court, you tak boleh cakap bahawa saya tak tahu thesis itu tak sampai quality. You dah sign. Kan? You dah sign. Jadi, we actually remind them. When you going to sign it, make sure you know the thesis is up to the minimum standard of PhD. If not, anything goes wrong, we can actually take action towards you lah. So, dengan supervisor kita bagi tahu semua. So, they kind of alert on this matter lah. Okay, it's very important now you sign tu kan. Okay, so tu you tak boleh kata student paksa saya sign. Kita boleh kalau you tak nak sign, tak ada siapa paksa, betul? There's one supervisor, saya ingat lagi dia contact saya. Dia kata, Prof, student ni dah langgar dinding 16/16, thesis dia tak sampai quality. Kalau saya tak sign, dia memang fail. So what is your suggestion? So I suggest to the supervisor, say that, Prof, what you need to do is that you need to sign the thesis because it's already 16/16. But put a remarks there. Put a remarks there saying that, or write a letter, official letter, saying that you sign it because 16/16. So she did write me a letter, official letter, saying that she signed it because 16/16. Let the panels of Viva decide whether fail or not. And the student also must to know lah about it. So student tu tahu dia supervisor sign because of 16/16. Sebab kalau you tak sign, memang student tu terus gagal lah, kan? Let student, kata orang, be assessed lah by a group of panels juga. Because there are supervisor also perfectionist, betul? Ada supervisor yang tak lepas-lepas student dia. Dia tak mahu lepas student dia. Kata dia belum lagi. Bilanya tak tahu. There are supervisors like that also, kan? Sometimes as a supervisor, you need to tell yourself, okay, stop. This is the job of examiners, not the job of us anymore. Tapi bukanlah membaca thesis. Okay, any question? No? Okay, so thank you very much. Good luck. I can see that UTHM has a very bright future in graduate education after asking Dr. Chan that you have 2,000 graduate students. That's a good signal also. You are not a new university. For me, you are not new university. For me, new university like UPNM, UTHM, they are new. But you have to benchmark yourself. You should be ahead from them. Because like UPMN and UTHM, they have about 1,000 postgraduate students. So you need to help us also, like RU, and then be as what you have been set up lah as an MTUN. So focus more on commercialization of the PhD products, the IP, intellectual property, instead of publication. Because you should be okay on that, kan? Like us lain lah. Okay. Itu saja. Thank you. Saya mohon maaf kalau ada kekurangan. Thank you Pago. Thank you Prof atas jemputan. Slide boleh minta pada graduate school.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zaida, for the very enlightening talk. I'm sure we have all who are present here, including our friends in Pago, must have benefited a lot from the 2 hours sharing session that we have had with Prof. It's not just about the management of the graduate students, graduate staff. It goes right down to the grassroots pagat, right down to the pagat. So everyone is responsible for the well-being of the university, the well-being of the postgraduate programs, most importantly, the well-being of the postgraduate students sebenarnya. Jadi, without further ado, it's approaching the lunchtime, and Prof. Zaida actually has to rush back to UTM for a meeting this afternoon. So I would like to invite Prof. Tamizi to present a little token appreciation to Prof. Zaida. Okay, so with that, the session is wrapped up. So thank you very much again to my colleagues, the students and all who are here. Thank you, Pago. Dah pergi? Oh, dah pergi. Yeah, so thank you. Jumpa lagi.